The inside story of Farmer John's hot dogs. The reason why they have so much going for them in good taste. Farmer John Wieners, Beef Franks, or his incredibly delicious extra long Dodger dogs. Why not pick up a package today? Says Farmer John.
Hi, this is Howard Sheldon, your cable radio network astrologer. My new enhanced astrological 900 forecast line, 1-900-288-0155, is the best and most accurate astrological forecast available by phone anywhere. We don't hire someone to make up a reading for 1/12 of the people of the world. You'll receive a forecast that's customized to you personally and precisely calculated to your own birth date, time, and region of birth. You can receive a daily, weekly, or monthly forecast. For an outer planet forecast, most like the ones I do here on the cable radio network, pick the monthly selection. Available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's truly remarkable. 288-0155. That's 1-900-288-0155. It's $2 per minute. Brought to you by my partners at InfoPhone. Adults only. Touch-tone phones only.
You wanna accent your weight to positive. Eliminate the negative.
A kind-hearted priest and a street-smart nun help the police solve perplexing crimes in the Father Dowling Mysteries. Tom Bosley and Tracy Nelson star in the Father Dowling Mysteries, weeknights.
Catch the Family Channel on CBI Cable in the West San Fernando Valley of California and most of these cable systems.
If you would like a cassette of your appearance on any CRN talk show, just send a check for $10 to CRN. Post Office Box 433, Sunland, S-U-N-L-A-N-D, California, 91041. Remember to include the day and time and the show name that you were on. Again, send your check for $10 to CRN, Post Office Box 433, Sunland, California, 91041.
Hello, cable subscribers. I just wanted to come in here for a second and remind you that along with being the world's most called radio astrologer and a wonderful radio host, Howard Sheldon is a working, professional astrologer. Now, what does that mean? That means that he has clients that come out to see him, and they have been for over 30 years. 30 years. Well, he was just a pup when it got started, see. Howard sits down with you, he gets together, and he does a birth horoscope, which is a verbal, personal analysis of who you are, your strengths and your weaknesses. Now, let me remind you about this. What Howard sees is what you get. Now, let's say you've been married. Lots. Say 5 times. And each time it ends in divorce. And you always say, it's the ex's fault. It's always their fault. Well, Howard will take a look at the birth horoscope and say, you know, you have a tendency here to pick people that aren't good for you. Well, now you know that, and you can pick people that are good for you, and then wind up with a wonderful marriage. Then he gives you a 6-month projection. Basically, it shows where you are in a given set of cycles over a 6-month period. And as Howard puts it, it tells whether you're ready for the world and the world is ready for you. He tapes all of this because it gets real in-depth. He tapes it all. You can refer back to it later because you'll never remember everything. It's very overwhelming at times. Now, people who use horoscopes and use them properly are very successful. See, by looking at the upcoming aspects, see, they may look good, and if you're not ready for them, then you'll miss all the blown out. You'll blow every opportunity. You'll miss every opportunity. The idea here is to see opportunities coming and be ready for them. And adversely, if we see times coming up that may be a little more difficult, you can prepare for that too. And then if you're in a period where everything seems to be nuts, you'll find out that it's going to end soon. So it really is a great timing device. You can really evaluate yourself, and you can check to see if you're using you to your full potential. You need to use you properly. If you want rate information, if you want appointment information, you can call Howard at his office at 818-761-6159. 818-761-6159. That's for rate and appointment information only. 818-761-6159. Make sure on the machine you leave your name and a daytime phone number. All right? Call Howard. Get it together. 818-761-6159. 818-761-6159.
Ah, thank you, Jim. And leave your name and a daytime phone number. I'll get back to you as quickly as is possible if you leave a number where I can reach you, and we can talk. Let's go to line 3. Hi, this is Howard. You're on CRN, the Cable Radio Network. Who's this?
Hi, Howard. This is Jill.
Hi, Jill. What's your cable company and city?
United Artists, Van Nuys.
And your birthday, year first, month by name, and the date?
1958, July 27th.
Okay, 1958, July 27th. So you're a Leo. And, of course, the tough time period here for you was way back on into last summer. That was about the same time that Anita Hill was testifying. Before you know what I'm talking about. That was that Saturn-Sun opposition. That was a really difficult time period, and that was on into like July and August 91. And again, it wasn't too thrilling on into November, December 91 either. The good news is you're out of that.
Yeah.
And things are starting to look an awful lot better, particularly in the love life areas. Now is a good time to get out there and meet people.
Good.
You're getting that nice Jupiter-Venus square. From a career standpoint, really the chart takes off beautifully next summer, right around your birthday, just after your birthday. You start a major new 12-year cycle called the Jupiter return, and then you start getting what we call Jupiter-Sun square, Jupiter-Mars opposition aspects, so you get real busy, busy, busy. But you also are one of these people that needs to be more independently employed. You know,
I was thinking of that.
Setting your own work pace or work schedule. Have you got a question?
What about marriage?
Now is a great time period to get out there and meet people. This is a good time period to do it.
Okay.
Okay, hon. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye. Line 1, hi. This is Howard. You're on CRN, the Cable Radio Network. Who's this?
This is Jim.
Hi, Jim. What's your cable company and city?
United and Van Nuys.
And your birthday, year first, month by name, and the date?
63.
Yep.
March 19th.
63, March 19th. So you are a Piscean. And there were a lot of people promising you an awful lot of everything here on through the summer, particularly July, August, and September. And I don't know how much of this is going to come about. It's just a time period when people many times with that Jupiter opposition end up spinning their wheels. I think things are going to settle down enough now so that you can get a much better idea of what is and is not going to work. What's most noticeable here is that you are getting major, what we call make it or break it aspects as far as love life is concerned. Problem here is that you have a Venus-Saturn conjunction. You put up with negatives in love life much longer than you should. Even if there's nobody, you know, you need to communicate more and not be so quiet about your needs and your feelings. But you're going through this Saturn return, this kind of aspect where people make job changes, residence changes, relationship changes, and the Saturn evaluating a lot of these major attitudes in your life. And things start settling down here within the next 2 months. You can start getting your life back on track again.
Right.
The chart takes off positively really closer to the end of next year. That's a kind of like supercharged period for you where things will really start opening up.
End of 93.
Yeah, but in love life, you're still going to learn how to talk more.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about. You're just too quiet.
Yeah, I hear you.
Have we covered it, or you got a question?
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Okay, my friend. Hang in there. Thank you. Bye-bye. Line 2, hi. This is Howard. You're on CRN, the Cable Radio Network. Who's this?
Dennis.
Dennis. What's your cable company and city?
Copley Colony in the city of Cyprus.
And your birthday, year first, month by name, and the date?
71, February 2nd.
February 2nd, 1971. Okay, so you are an Aquarius with Moon in Taurus, which means there are times you're a pretty stubborn Aquarius. But that Mercury in Capricorn, so you think like a Capricorn, and Venus in Sag. Okay, what's going on here is you also are one of these people that most people think of as quieter, shyer, more aloof, generally.
Right, we spoke about that before.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that first jumps out here.
Right.
And the fact that, you know, you're, when you want to pin somebody down, no problem. You're real good at it. If they want to pin you down, you don't want to be. No way.
Right.
You're going to start getting real busy now. This is an extra load time period for you.
That's right.
And you're going to get even busier on through January, February. And you just got to be careful about biting off way more than you can chew. It is generally not a bad time period. It's even a good time period for you to really start showing people your own innovative ways of doing things. They're going to be more responsive now.
Yeah, I'm going to get real busy right now because I work with the taxes, the 1099s.
Uh-huh.
They come out, January, February. So
You betcha,
I'm
yeah.
real busy.
That's the time period. But they're also going to give you an opportunity to be a little bit more innovative and creative.
Uh-huh.
So there's going to be some exciting changes that you're going to take to like a duck to water. The love life aspects were better here on into September, but now it kind of quieted down somewhat.
Yeah.
Did I mention to you last time about burying dead relationships?
No.
Oh, well, it's important in this chart you bury the ghost. Okay?
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right, my friend, have we covered it?
Yeah, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
When is your 800 number coming back? I know you had it for a few days.
Yeah, that's all he gives it to me for, a couple of days. He says, you can answer the phone for 3 days, and that's it. So they change quite a lot here in the head office. And Mike seems to feel that we give enough quality and substance to our callers that if they call in from around the country, they can pay for the calls themselves.
Okay.
That's a head office decision. I have nothing to do with it. But there are those occasions where he will look at me and suddenly say, you can answer the 800 line today. Okay?
Okay, and how was Palm Springs?
I didn't go down to Palm Springs.
Oh, I thought you went there for Thanksgiving.
No, we went to Antelope Valley.
Oh, okay,
We went
somewhere
up,
in the desert, right?
Yeah, we went up to Quartz Hill, which was really nice. And my mother-in-law is an outstanding cook. I mean, she's marvelous. And so everybody over ate and had a great time. Hey, thanks for asking.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you, Howard.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, we're about out of time. I want to remind you, if you're around the country, if you're in Virginia or you're in Florida, parts of Florida, North Carolina, Idaho, parts of New York, later this evening, I am on the Sun Radio Network. I'm on with Frank Kinsman, and he does the all-night show on Sun. So if you've heard Frank before, I am his regular Friday night guest, or Saturday morning guest, I guess. Because in the East Coast, it's midnight to 1 a.m. Out here on the West Coast, it's 9 to 10, which really doesn't matter because I didn't see any stations listed on their affiliates that are out here. So what can I say? So I'm a Saturday morning guest for Frank every Friday night, my time, Saturday morning broadcast time, I guess. And maybe late Friday night in certain parts of the Midwest, obviously, Central Time. And so that's coming up later tonight on the Sun Radio Network. If you've just discovered us here tonight, I am in here Monday through Friday. We try to be. Now, next week we got a crazy schedule because of the Western Cable Show, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I don't know what the schedule is and how we're going to do that, but we'll keep you posted the first part of the week as soon as we find out. In here Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the Cable Radio Network. Or, you could come out to the office and have me spoil your rotten astrologically and have me do the chart for you and the 6-month projection. And you can find out about rate and appointment information by dialing 818-761-6159. Leave your name and a daytime phone number. We'll get back to you as quickly as possible. 818-761-6159. Hey, guys, I'll be back Monday at 6. I expect you to get it there. Have a great weekend, will you?
The following is a Blazer Broadcasting sports presentation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and basketball fans wherever you may be. Yes, it's time for NBA basketball again, and on this Friday night, the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, the mighty, at least they used to call them the mighty Los Angeles Lakers, but not anymore, the Lakers are in town. big rivals between Portland and the Los Angeles Lakers. You know the story. No Magic Johnson, but they still have a pretty potent team. We'll get into more of the Magic Johnson story in a moment or two. I can tell you that the Los Angeles Lakers lost their last game. They did to New Jersey. The Blazers a couple of nights ago, you are well aware, lost for the first time this year down in Phoenix, Arizona. But 8-1 is not bad, and their heads are not down. The Lakers do not have Byron Scott tonight. He will not play for the fourth game. The Magic Johnson story. You know all about Magic, but he did play this game of NBA basketball, and he played it to the hilt.
Because of the HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers today.
The good time that made us laugh, I'll wait back. I thought we'd get to the forever, but forever's gone away. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. I don't know where this road is going to lead. All I know is where we've been and what we've been through. If we get to see tomorrow, I hope it's worth all the wait. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. And I'll take with me the memory to be my sunshine after the rain. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. And I'll take with me the memory to be my sunshine after the rain. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Airport, please. I've got a 9 a.m. flight.
No problem.
Good.
What airline?
Alaska.
First time Alaska?
Yes, it is. But airline never take off on time.
First time Alaska.
When Alaska Airlines says a flight will leave at 9 a.m., we do our best to make sure it does.
I tell you, they never leave on time.
So usually the only time you'll have to wait for a plane is when you miss one.
What's the world coming to?
Imagine no longer being bound by the limits of your telephone. Imagine personal communication no longer tied to a home, an office, even a car. That's why Cellular One is building a new cellular network across North America. Imagine what that freedom can mean to you, to all of us. To reserve your number, call our number, 1-800-IMAGINE.
Nobody in America's ever disliked Saturdays. A day to fool around, even if that means pounding the dents out of an old fender. But sometimes you still need to get your money. That's why Bank of America is now open 9 to 1 on Saturdays. Because you should be able to do anything you want on Saturdays. Even go to the bank. Banking on America. Bank of America.
This is the Temple of Flight, shrine of the enlightened basketball mind. Come, experience ball mastery. Meditate that.
But Master, what if we behave badly?
You go to Detroit.
One of the integral parts of the Blazers' success so far this year, and they are 8-1, new acquisitions. One of those, of course, came from San Antonio. His name, Rod Strickland. Well, earlier today, our own Steve Jones had a chance to sit down and converse with Rod about Rod's role, his attitude, his anticipation of things to come. Here is Steve and Rod Strickland.
Rod, let's talk first about just getting adjusted to the Northwest. I guess first we could start with the climate. You know, it's not like it was in San Antonio. You know, San Antonio this time of year, nice and warm. How do you feel about being up here in all this rain?
Well, I like the sunshine now. I definitely like the sunshine. San Antonio was a great city. You know, it's a beautiful city. You know, here in Portland, rains a lot. You don't see too much sun. But I've adjusted. I mean, you know, I'm pretty much happy with playing on this team, and so that takes, you know, from that.
Well, it appears that your number one focus has been just fitting in, and so far you've done a wonderful job. Has there been any one particular part that you found a little bit more difficult in getting adjusted to your new teammates?
Well, I think like during the preseason, everything went, you know, pretty smooth. I think right in the beginning, the first, let's say, 4 games, I think it was a transition period for me, because I think I was out there thinking a little too much and, you know, just wanting to fit in probably a little too much and not playing loose. And I think, you know, after those games, you know, I pretty much settled in and, you know, I feel pretty comfortable right now.
You know, when you were with San Antonio, and one of Larry Brown's problem was, you know, how much freedom does Rod Strickland need out on the floor? How much freedom do you need to fit in with these guys? You said you felt a little too tight, thinking too much. So how much room do you need?
Well, no, I think I've gotten freedom. I think, you know, Coach Adelman gives everybody freedom, you know, as long as you make the right decisions out there. You know, I think he gives a lot of freedom. I think it was just a matter, you know, the first few games, I think I was just so much worried about not messing up and fitting in that I think I was a little tight and a little hesitant at times, you know, making a lot of turnovers and things like that. But, you know, I mean, I know what I can do and what I can't do. You know, I think I've been in this league for a while, and I've learned throughout the years. Ain't no question about that. And I know what I can do and what I can't do, and I think I try to use that to my best, you know.
Well, one thing that you surprise everybody with, and maybe they'll start calling you the robo-rebounder from the guards, but you've gotten a lot of rebounds. Now, it didn't look that way when you were playing for San Antonio or the Knicks. Is that something that you consciously have always done?
Yeah, I don't think people don't realize that part of my game, but I've always been a pretty decent rebounder. With San Antonio last year, you know, I think I was the top rebounder as a point guard. I averaged 4.7. So, you know, I think I'm capable of getting there and getting in there and getting boards. I've always done that, and I try to do that, sort of try to keep a rounded game. You know, you like to go in there and have a lot of assists, a lot of rebounds, and, you know, so I try to do that.
Is that something that was kind of instilled in you as you were coming up and playing on the playground? Hey, everybody has to rebound, everybody has to do a little bit of everything, or this is something you wanted to do?
Yeah, not at all. I mean, on the playground it was all about shaking and banging and trying to take somebody, trying to embarrass somebody, things like that. Rebounding was far from a thought with me. You know, I just wanted to get out on the break. You know, I think as I've gotten older, you know, through college, through the league, I knew once I got in the league, that, you know, you had to have a rounded game, and you have to be willing to go in there and, you know, mix it up a little bit and things like that. So I think once I got to the league, I said, listen, I'm going to do this. You know, I'm going to try to work hard, and I'm going to try to, you know, get in there, get some rebounds, get some assists, and show them that I can score and things like that.
Well, you had your first game against your old teammates, and I saw you and Sidney hugging each other. What did it feel like playing against San Antonio the first time around?
It didn't really feel, it felt like just another game. I know that's hard for people to believe, but it felt just like another game. I mean, I was glad that it was over with. I wanted to get the first game over with because I felt like everybody else would hype it up more than I would, you know? I mean, you know, I seen it on the schedule, and I said, yeah, I want to beat them. I want to smash them. You know, I wanted to crush them. I didn't want it to even be close. But as far as, you know, like saying, yeah, I want to play them and get back at them and things like that, that was far from my mind. You know, I just wanted to make sure they didn't come in and get a victory.
They're a different team now. And I know as you look back, you can say, they've made some mistakes. From the day that you were there, this team in San Antonio was thought to be the team of the 90s. Why were there all the changes all the time?
I don't know. I don't know. I think that might have had something to do with Larry Brown, you know, liking to just change things, you know, a lot. And, you know, we just made, every year it was changes. Every year we had 4 or 5 different players. You know, the nucleus sort of stayed the same, but we just always had different players. I think we got rid of Frank Wachowski. I thought that was a big mistake, you know, that first year, and got Paul, you know, all due respect to Paul Pressey. But, you know, I felt Frank was an important part of the team, and he helped us a lot. He was tough, physical, and, you know, we just started getting rid of people one by one, and, you know, I knew I was going to be next. I knew I was going soon.
Now, you know, you're part of this team, and, you know, as part of this team, do you see how good they are? I mean, I know when you were looking at them on the other side, you said, well, you can beat them. Do you see how good they are now?
Oh, yeah, no question. This is a great team. I think just for the fact that we can move people around in, you know, so many different positions, I think we got a heck of a bench. And, you know, the starting unit is proven. You know, those guys have been in the championship. We know they're going to be there for us. And, you know, I think we have probably the most talented team in the league if you go from 1 to 12. I mean, we got 9 guys we're playing now and playing significant minutes and doing a great job.
So, you know, as you sit here and you think, are you thinking, you know, I'm finally going to get a chance, A, to do something in the playoffs and maybe get to play in the championship? Is that the way you feel as you sit and watch this team and play on this team?
You know, I definitely feel we're capable of getting back to the championship. I mean, I know it's going to be tough. You know, Phoenix tough. Utah is going to get better. You know, they're struggling, but they're going to get better. And there's a Seattle. There's a lot of teams in the Western Conference, so I know it's going to be tough. But I think if we can go in there, you know, have a great regular season, get the home court advantage, I think we can go back, no question.
Have you provided the missing dimension for Portland? And Portland never really had a guard that could consistently penetrate. And I know some of the scouting reports said make them a perimeter team. Do you think you make the difference in terms of how scouting reports read about this team now?
Well, I don't know. I hope so. I mean, I would like to think so. But, you know, this is early in the season. You know, we've only played 9 games and got a long season ahead. And, you know, hopefully I can continue to come in and produce and things like that. But, you know, I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. I just want to go out there and play ball, and whatever happens, happens.
When you say you don't want to put too much pressure on yourself, and every player says that, every player that's pretty good always has pressure on himself. I mean, when you don't play well, you're not happy. So when you say I don't want to put too much pressure on myself, what does that mean?
Well, I think that's a way of me not trying to toot my own horn. You know? But, you know, I just feel like, you know, I'm very confident. You know, I'm very confident in my ability and things like that. But, you know, I don't want to come out here and say, you know, I'm this or I'm going to do this or that, because things change throughout the 82-game season. And, you know, I just want to play ball. Of course, I'm always thinking I'm going to have a good game. I'm always going to play good. But, you know, I just rather just sort of let the chips fall.
A certain level of excellence, the experience to get the job done right, and a reputation for quality. Having what you need on hand, putting the parts together for the best possible performance. Being in the pros takes a special brand of confidence, and for professionally trained technicians, that confidence is CarQuest. CarQuest, welcome to the pros.
30 pairs of Blazers game tickets, 15 Trailblazers jackets, and 5 Blazers autographed leather basketballs. 50 fantastic prizes, and you could win one of them in this year's Franz Bread Trailblazers sweepstakes. To enter, look for entry blanks and contest information on loaves of Franz Premium White Bread. It's your big chance to win Blazers tickets, jackets, or an autographed Blazers basketball. Enter the Franz Bread Trailblazers sweepstakes today.
You're out in the West today, there's probably 75,000 golden eagles. In addition, there's numerous hawks, osprey, owls, falcons. And so my job is to make sure that these birds can nest and perch in safety on our facilities. I can't say enough about our own personnel that's going out there, building these platforms, modifying these pools to make them safer for birds. You know, the best thing about this work is that you can see the results right away. All you got to do is look up.
Genuine Draft congratulates Bobby Rahal on winning the 1992 PPG IndyCar World Series Championship. When we said he was flying, we weren't lying.
Well, things have changed down in La La Land, if you will. No Magic Johnson, and at least tonight, no Byron Scott. But they still pose a problem. Our own Mike Rice got together with assistant Trailblazer coach Jack Shallow, and they have a little chalk talk, along with some tape of previous Los Angeles Laker games. Let's listen.
Welcome to Chalk Talk. I'm Mike Rice, along with assistant Trailblazer coach Jack Shallow. It's the day after Thanksgiving, this Friday night, for the Lakers. How was the turkey yesterday? What part do you eat?
I ate the drumstick.
Oh, you're a leg man.
I sure am.
Well, I'm a breast man myself. I got that. Well, we'll go on for that. The Lakers are in town tonight. They've been kind of an inconsistent team. One night they beat the Bulls. The next night they lose to the Sacramento Kings. How do you explain that?
Well, I think that, you know, their leadership at the point guard right now is not there. Magic, they probably still are worried about him a little bit, or thinking about his leadership. But they have great talent. They got Perkins, they got Divac, they got Worthy. Byron Scott has been in and out with injuries. But they've got some good, very good post-up players. And when they're inconsistent, they're not shooting the ball outside. They can always score inside. If you double them, they're not shooting outside, then they have some problems.
This Sedell Threet, it seems every year Magic starts to come back and he's putting in the behind, down, he's not going to be there, and then all of a sudden he really blossoms. He's not a bad player.
Well, he's a very good player. I think that the position, when they take him out of the ball game, the backup position is not as strong as they would like. Sedell is a very good player, good defender, comes down full court to pick you up and can shoot the ball very well. And he's a pretty good point guard in getting them set up.
All right, let's take a look at this Los Angeles Laker offense and defensive team tone.
Okay, now they're coming down in transition. Okay, hold it right there. He fires the ball to the wing, and you'll see Sedell Threet go down inside here, and Worthy will come across, and then they're going to swing the ball back outside, and Sedell Threet will come off with a jump shot. And you can't let him have a wide open jump shot because he can really shoot the ball. He's going to go down and set a cross screen. Worthy will come across. Now you have to worry about Worthy posting up. And they swing it, and here he comes. Little one-bounce dribble and can shoot the ball. He's a very, very good shooter.
You know, you mentioned that post-up players. This team probably has more post-up players than anybody in the NBA. So when somebody sets a pick, they can also turn and get the ball on this team.
Yeah, it's easier for them to get the ball. They set a lot of screens. They do a good job offensively to get the ball to those low post guys. And what you have to do is come quickly. I mean, you have to come on the catch when James Worthy has the ball, because he's so quick to make that move, and then Perkins can score inside, and Vlade Divac is a very good low post player.
The whole key is if they aren't shooting the ball outside, they're like anybody else. Then you can get out when they shoot the perimeter shot, get out in transition and get some easy baskets.
All right, let's take a look at one of those low post players, James Worthy.
Okay, now hold it right there. Here we have the ball in the point. He's going to come and set a screen. And what he has to do now, this man defensively right here takes away the baseline cut. He won't let him go baseline. Vinny Del Negro, as he comes across, he's got to bump him. And you'll see that he doesn't do a very good job of that. And Worthy will come right up in this area. He comes a little high and makes it tough for Vinny. And then they just throw the ball inside, and he'll turn and shoot or turn around jump shot. Now you watch Vinny. Vinny doesn't get a body on him. He's behind his man. Now he doesn't know if he should take him or leave him or what he should do. There wasn't a whole lot of communication there. And Worthy, once he gets the ball here, school is out because he's going to make that shot.
Yeah, Vinny Del Negro, maybe that Italian league over in Europe, they don't bump a lot on that defense, do they?
Vinny getting paid to score a lot of points over there, and he hasn't adjusted to the defense yet.
All right, let's take a look. We talked about low post players. We have Worthy so far that can post up Divac. Let's take a look at the Sam Perkins.
Okay, now they swing the ball outside. Okay, hold it right there. Now they set a cross screen right over here. Perkins is going to come down here. They'll swing the ball to the other side, and he'll look it inside, and Perkins will shoot a turnaround jump hook. Perkins is very good in that low post area. It's a cross screen. Two big guys. A lot of times you can switch that one. Now he's a left-hander. He'll shoot the turnaround. He misses it, but most of the time he's going to stick that down because he's an outstanding player, I think.
Well, we've seen a lot of post-up moves. When they had Magic, they did a lot of pick and rolls. They still can do that with Siddell. He's not a bad guard to know what to do off of that.
No, he does a good job, but the difference is when you double team him with a big center, he can't see the floor. Magic was bigger than most centers, and he just throw it right over the top of you. Magic was about as good in the pick and roll situation with the ball in his hand as any player that's ever played. He and Larry Bird, I think, and Clyde Drexler does a great job in that regard too. They're bigger and they're stronger, and they can get the ball past that center.
All right, let's take a look at the famous pick and roll play of the Lakers.
Okay, this is a sideline out of bounds play, and hold it right there. Now Worthy just threw the ball into the corner. The ball is right down here now, and he's going to run the shuffle cut, walk his man in. Does a good job. A lot of guys will just come running off of it. He sets his man up, walking, comes off, and then Divac will come over here and they'll run the pick and roll, get the ball to the middle of the court. You've got to step out and stop that man, keep it down on the baseline, or they're just going to take the ball right to the middle. See, the center was way behind. Turn around, jump shot, right over the top. In that situation, the center's got to be right up on his man to stop that, force the man way outside, not let him turn the corner.
You know, the Blazers, speaking of pushing guys out, I've never, in my 3 years, have seen them really do a job on that pick and roll play. They're pushing the guys out. They're rotating back. Defensively, it looks like you're right on the right page.
Well, we are. I think we're a very good defensive team. We've got good athletes, quick athletes, and that really believe in that. Rick talks about it. We talk about playing defense and rebounding, and we emphasize that quite, all the time. And I think we're better this year than we've ever been. We've got Mario Elie and Rod Strickland are quick. Terry Porter does a good job. Clyde Drexler and Cliff Robinson is outstanding. He's big and strong. And Buck Williams is one of the better defensive players in the league, not only individually, but now when he's double teaming a pick and roll. He's got the quick hands this year, much better. He's more active. I think he's doing a better job in that regard than he's ever done since he's been here.
Speaking of defense, finally, this Los Angeles Laker team used to get out in the passing lanes and try to disrupt your offense. How are they defensively now?
They're not as good defensively. Magic used to play a zone. He'd get back off, and you'd have to shoot the jump shot to beat them because he's going to play back inside. A lot of times what they would do is James Worthy used to be a great defensive player. I don't think his quickness is there anymore. They used to put him on Clyde and take Magic and play him against a power forward, or on any team, he would take the worst of the front line people. He would rebound. He'd have the fast break going. He was really a guy that could just play any place, and when he was inside and he rebounded, he just made it very, very tough because the other guys just took off because they knew he had the ball in his hand.
You know, it must be different playing without Lakers coming in without Magic. Do you feel that you miss him occasionally? I know they're a much better team with him, but is it kind of not like the Lakers coming in without him?
No, I think you still have to worry about them, and we like to win. no matter who they have. And we have our players and they have theirs, and we come out to do the best we possibly can, and we'd like to win every ball game.
The key to beating the Lakers, what would you like your team to do more than anything else tonight?
Well, we have to play defense and force them to shoot the ball outside. If they miss, we'll get our transition game going. And then when we are in our half-court game, to execute. We're really starting to execute very well again. Clyde's coming back stronger, and execute and really take it to people inside and know our strengths. Cliff Robinson's inside now and not taking so many perimeter jump shots, and penetrating and kicking and get Terry some open jump shots. He and Mario Elliott. That's really our game.
All right, that's Jack Shallow, the Friday night Los Angeles Lakers. It's been Chalk Talk.
Portland's Memorial Coliseum on a Friday night. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Portland Trailblazers in their pregame warm-up. Blazers home for tonight, and then Sacramento on Sunday, and then it's out on the road. 4 games in the East, including the New York Knicks, and a big game looming on the horizon against, 1 week from tonight, as a matter of fact, at Chicago Stadium. But tonight, the Blazers 8-1, trying to go on that road trip 10-1 with victories tonight and on Sunday. So it's NBA basketball once again, my friends. Wherever you may be, don't go away. We're gonna be right back.
It has a 10-cylinder, 400-horsepower engine and seats up to 7. It hits over 1 G on a skid pad and has an available built-in child seat. Its front fenders resist dents and chips. It has 133 sound deadeners, silencers, baffles, and mufflers. And there's room in back for 49 bags of groceries. Caravan, Viper, and Intrepid. The new Dodge.
Welcome. People wonder how the incredible universe can sell so many name brands at such incredibly low prices. There's a formula. Multiply all the electronics by the gross national product, compute the number of computers, add the number of CDs, plus the appliances. Calculate the circumference of the planet, divide by pi, factor in the high IQs of all the salespeople, and that's how we get such incredibly low prices. I mean, it's so simple.
If it's not in the universe, it doesn't exist.
Randy Travis, he's the best.
Still the real thing.
What a voice.
Hello. When you found the real thing.
Think he's as cute in person? Uh-huh. What I wouldn't give to meet a guy like him. Hey, Julie, want to ring up this Coca-Cola Classic?
Thank you. Can't beat the real thing.
No one knew where he came from, but they knew what he wanted. Introducing AM/PM's hearty new BBQ rib, flame broiled, smothered in barbecue sauce. It's one mean sandwich. At only 99 cents each, you can pack up a herd of them. No one knew where he came from, but they knew he'd be back.
The following is a Blazer Broadcasting sports presentation. The Oregon Trail and the Trailblazers, a name carved from its history. The Oregon Trail is a great American adventure. It's the story of 500,000 people who left their homes and traveled west for a new beginning in a new land. It was the greatest migration of people in recorded history. Some wished to escape the economic depression back in the States. Others said they came for patriotic reasons, or just to go where they had never been. But one thing they all had in common: when they hit the trail, it was Oregon or bust.
Put in the wagon! Put in the wagon! Dragons out!
This is Blazer Cable, and these are the cable affiliates that make up the Blazer Cable Network. George Wash is the executive producer and director of Trailblazer Basketball, and J.R. Hellman is the coordinating producer.
We are live this Friday night at Portland's Memorial Coliseum. NBA basketball, the Portland Trailblazers hosting the Los Angeles Lakers. Good evening, everybody, wherever you may be. The Los Angeles Lakers come into town with a new look. Obviously, Magic Johnson not a part of this franchise anymore, out on the floor. No Byron Scott tonight. My first question, Steve, to you is, where does the inspiration come from out on the floor for this Laker team?
You'd have to say the inspiration comes from the team that they're playing. They are playing the top dog in the division, the best team in the conference, and they've got to come out and give it one of those gutty efforts which they're capable of doing. They still have Worthy, they still have Perkins, they still have Sedale Threet. These players are capable of putting together good games, so you can't allow them to get into the game. They're still very confident that they can compete. It's up to the Trailblazers to take that desire away from them.
Are you surprised, Steve, that a James Worthy or Perkins or someone like that has not stepped to the front?
Well, it's difficult to fill the void in terms of leadership and inspiration that Magic Johnson provided for 12 years. He took care of the team and all of their emotional needs, so none of those guys are really experienced at it. I'm sure that they're trying to do it in their way, but when you talk about centers and forwards, they're guys that have the game brought to them to begin with, so it's hard for them to reach out and help somebody else.
No Byron Scott tonight, fourth game he's missed.
Well, Scott sprained an ankle. They thought it was not going to be a serious problem, but it has turned out to be that. He was at the shoot-around today. He's still not ready to play, and, you know, they're not going to rush it. This was a team last year that broke down because key players were not available when they came back too early.
Now, as far as the Blazers are concerned, folks know they lost their first game. You're not going to win 82, and they didn't. They're 8-1. Not too bad anyway.
Well, it's not that bad, but, you know, what's ahead of them is a tough road trip. They've got New York, who's improving.
Yes.
You know, Chicago and Cleveland, you throw Indiana in between. They want to go out on a good note. So this is a game that they want to have, as well as the game against Sacramento on Sunday. So their focus is tonight and Sunday, and then they'll worry about the road.
And that road trip should be a dandy. But it's tonight. The Los Angeles Lakers are in town on a Friday night. We hope you had a very happy Thanksgiving Day yesterday, and you will enjoy the weekend. And, of course, if you're out and about driving, drive carefully. Now, ladies and gentlemen, join us as we honor America and our national anthem.
With our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail, and the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallant
All right, Tracy, thank you very much. Our national anthem, and we're about ready to get one of many games around the National Basketball Association ready for you tonight. Let's now go to public address announcer Mike Stone.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the members of the Los Angeles Lakers. A 6'4" guard from Missouri, number 1, Anthony Peeler. A 6'1" guard out of USC, number 5, Dwayne Cooper. A 6'6" forward from Monmouth, number 30, Alex Blackwell. A 6'11" forward center out of Clemson, number 41, Eldon Campbell. A 6'9" forward from Oregon State University, number 45, A.C. Green. A 7'1" center from the University of Washington, number 53, James Edwards. And now the starting 5 for the Los Angeles Lakers. At 1 forward, out of North Carolina, 6'9", number 14, Sam Perkins. At the other forward, out of North Carolina, 6'9", number 42, James Worthy. The center played at Partizan, number 12, 7'1", Vlade Divac. At 1 guard from West Virginia Tech, 6'2", number 3, Sadale Threet. And at guard from Marquette, 6'4", number 34, Tony Smith. The trainer for the Lakers, Gary Beatty. The assistant coaches are Bill Burtka, Chet Kammerer, and Larry Drew. And the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, Randy Funn. And now, the defending Western Conference champion, Portland Trail Blazers. Starting at 1 forward out of Longwood College, Virginia, 6'7", number 25, Jerome Kersey. At the other forward from Maryland, 6'8", number 52, Buck Williams. Starting at center from Eastern Illinois, 7'00", the Duck, Kevin Duckworth. At 1 guard from Wisconsin, Stevens Point, 6'3", number 30, Terry Porter. And at guard, 6'7", from Houston, number 22, Clyde Drexler. Portland's trainer is Mike Sheminsky. The assistant coaches are Jack Shallow and John Wetzel. And the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, Rick Adelman.
Imagine, what if all travel accommodations were as cramped as airlines usually are?
First time with us? Watch the head. Yes, indeed. All the comforts of home. Your bed, sir. Yes, indeed. And stereo TV, too. Watch the head.
At Alaska Airlines, we think space is essential even when you fly. So we give you, on average, a couple of inches more leg room than the major airlines do.
In Oregon, you don't have to be somebody or know somebody to get into the art, movie, music, and dining scene. You just need the Oregonian to tell you where it's happening. Or in some cases, where it's not.
Beer drinkers across America are discovering that the lunch hour now begins at 12 o'clock sharps. Miller Sharps. Brewed like a beer, but without all the alcohol. Imagine that. The crisp, refreshing taste of beer anytime, including chow time.
You're out in the West today, there's probably 75,000 golden eagles. In addition, there's numerous hawks, osprey, owls, falcons. And so my job is to make sure that these birds can nest and perch in safety on our facilities. I can't say enough about our own personnel that's going out there, building these platforms, platforms, modifying these pools to make them safer for birds. You know, the best thing about this work is that you can see the results right away. All you got to do is look up.
Fisher-Price action tools make work fun because they look, feel, even sound like the real thing.
There, that won't fix it.
And Freddy's Toy World at Fred Meyer has great prices on the toys your kids want, like the Hasbro G.I. Joe headquarters for $44.77. Now Barbie can talk. Get the Mattel Teen Talk Barbie for $19.99. And save on Tyco's Magic Potty Baby or Baby Feels So Real at Fred Meyer, where the kids love the toys and you'll like the low prices.
There's just one, and there's no mistaking it, one.
Why don't you and me do some fancy stuffing tonight?
Oh, with that cool style of it, ooh, with that smile, yeah, one.
He's a beautiful dancer. Why, I used to call him Twinkle Toes.
Can you do this one?
Ooh, there's just one.
You're not so bad yourself.
1 calorie jackpot.
Some for you,
Thanks.
some for me.
Diet Coke.
Making it to the pros takes a certain level of excellence, the experience to get the job done right, and a reputation for quality.
Red 98! Red 98!
Having what you need on hand, putting the parts together for the best possible performance. Being in the pros takes a special brand of confidence, and for professionally trained technicians, that confidence is CarQuest. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
Halftime this Friday night here at Portland's Memorial Coliseum. The Lakers lead by their biggest lead of the night by 11. They led by 6 at the end of the first period. Blazers whittled it down. They got to within 3, Steve, but now they're back down by 11.
They haven't really played with any authority. They have not been the aggressive team out here, and as I said before, maybe they're still suffering from Thanksgiving, the fact that they ate too much, but if they want to have a thankful day after, they better get after it, and let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. You could tell from the start of the ball game that the Trailblazers weren't ready to play. Even after that ball was knocked away, Duckworth was slow in getting back, and that allowed James Worthy, against no pressure, to score. At the outset of the game, the Lakers were the aggressive team. They reacted better. Tony Smith snuck up behind Drexler, made a steal. So Portland did not take good care of the basketball early. They were having trouble trying to get good offensive execution. They were fortunate out of a broken play to get a score, and that was an example of it for Jerome Kersey. Whenever you're struggling, as Portland was working against the shot clock there, and Drexler had to get it in the air, you hope that you can find someone that will keep you close. And Portland had a couple of players that gave them burst, but no consistency, as it was James Worthy challenging the Trailblazer defense and getting a good bounce off the glass. Worthy opened the game with 8 in the first quarter of play. Jerome Kersey on a tough shot. And the Lakers, they smothered and covered the rim whenever the Trailblazers tried to come down on baseline side, and out of any miss they were looking to run. They challenged Portland. A.C. Green got fouled and had a chance for a three-point play. Strickland and Robinson came into the ball game and gave the Trailblazers momentary life, but again, too much standing around. They didn't have enough real good ball movement, player movement, but a quick burst by Terry Porter got Portland a score and a foul. The double team, and Cliff Robinson with quick recognition spun away from it and got 2. At that point, it looked like Portland, even though they were struggling, was going to find a way to challenge and get back into the ball game. But you notice how easily the ball is moved. This is the shot that got Sedell 3 going. just about a 15-footer right on top of the free throw line as a double team. If you're going to double team, then you've got to make it difficult for the guy that's being double teamed to see the passer. And all through this first half of play, the Lakers have been able to find the open man off the double team.
There's the halftime score, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of NBA basketball to be played, but the Lakers lead at the halfway mark by 11.
Miller Genuine Draft. It's cold filtered. That's how we keep our commitment to everyone who knows that draft beer is real beer, pure beer, the best beer. It's why so many people can enjoy a beer whose taste hasn't been changed by heat pasteurization, and why so many people are making a change of their own to the genuine draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold.
In the next 8 years, you'll end up replacing almost everything you'll own, unless you own one of these. Toyota trucks are famous for low maintenance and performance, but here's the inside story. Luxury combines with 200,000, even 300,000 mile durability. Plus, your Toyota dealer will make you the kind of deal that means your Toyota will last much longer than one of these. Long-lasting quality, another reason why Toyota is that much better. See your Toyota dealer today.
9, 10, no.
Remember those classic Parker Brothers games like Clue, Monopoly, and Sorry? Isn't it time your kids enjoyed them too? Freddy's Toy World at Fred Meyer has low prices on the toys your kids want, like the new Marchand Chevy Speedway or Skyfighter's Night Strike. Little ones will love the Play School Ride-Around Train, now $89.97. Or give her a surprise bundle of love, Mattel's Magic Nursery Love Bundle for $27.99 at Fred Meyer, where the kids love the toys and you'll like the low prices.
The best measure of any health plan is the loyalty of its subscribers. At ODS Health Plan, 98% of our subscribers renew with us. Most likely because we treat them the way we'd want to be treated ourselves, with understanding, respect, and the highest level of care at the lowest possible cost. We never forget who we really work for. That's why people are so loyal to us. And the feeling is mutual.
The Portland Trail Blazers have been one of the best teams in the NBA for several seasons now. But because they haven't collected a championship, they still have an identity crisis. But that doesn't diminish what they've accomplished. They have averaged over 60 regular season wins over the past 3 seasons, and in 3.5 seasons, Rick Adelman has reached the 200 victory plateau faster than any coach in NBA history. In typical Adelman fashion, he spreads the credit to his team.
Michael jumps up, sit it down, step in, screening baseline side. Clyde has that whole corner to take what takes he's ever guarded. Keep going to the goal. Keep going to the goal.
You know, it may be no cliche, but it's the truth. When you have a group of people like I have, they're the ones who got the wins for me. This has just been a tremendous group, and I don't think people really understand how good they've been over the last 3+ years, and that record is just an indication of how well they've played.
The way they play is a fan's dream with spectacular finishes on the fast break, and that break has become a trademark. But Adelman is quick to point out tough work on defense and the boards is really the key.
When you have that, it's contagious, and I don't think enough people talk about that. That's the mark of this team. It's not the open court fast break, it's defense and rebound. That gets you to the open court, and these guys believe that.
The schedule makers placed Portland at home for 8 dates in the month of November, and Adelman primed his players for a quick start.
One of the things we talked about at the start of training camp is we had a good month of November as far as home games, and we wanted to come out and establish ourselves. We knew we had to play well, and we were playing good teams, and we really set our minds to that. And it's the combination of the veterans realizing and showing people that they're still hungry, in spite of what some of the experts say, and our new people have added new energy to us. So this is just a team that is playing very well, they're very confident, and as you see, they're very unselfish.
Unselfish play adds up to continued Blazer success and smiles. Blazer Cable continues with first half stats in a moment.
Did you ever try to get something as simple as help on an airline? At Alaska Airlines, Airlines, you'll find getting help is quite simple. More often than not, you won't even need to ask for it.
We couldn't make the day any longer or the distance between people any shorter. But at Cellular One, we can give you the freedom to go where you want to go and never be out of touch with the people who are most important to you. That's why Cellular One is building a new cellular network across North America. To reserve your number, call our number, 1-800-IMAGINE.
BP's research and testing tends to leave an impression on most visitors.
4th floor aviation fuel research. 6th floor marine fuel testing.
And we put this research to use in a very practical place. Your local BP station.
Pizza for Todd King. Top floor. Top floor space research.
BP, on the move.
When you want all the taste of a great beer without all the alcohol, take time out for a Miller Sharps. And then let the games resume.
On a Friday night of NBA basketball, the Lakers leading the Trailblazers by 11. We can give you an update report on Mario Elie. He has a slightly tender left ankle, is available for play. He turned it in the first half. Elie will be available for play. Well, the halftime stats, not too thrilling, Steve.
Well, you take a look at the Cellular One fast stats, and you find that James Worthy's fast start keys a balanced attack by them. Worthy had 8 in the first quarter, came back with 5 more, and leads with 13. Anthony Peeler off the bench, 9. A big shot in the arm with 4 and 5 in the first and second quarters of play. The Trailblazers, on the other hand, they have been struggling. Their leading scorer is Terry Porter, but he's having a tough time, as well as Drexler, Strickland, and Robinson all finding the hoop. Leading rebounder for the Los Angeles Lakers, it is Sam Perkins, and then there's another guard, Sidell 3, that snuck in there. For the Trailblazers, it's Duckworth and Jerome Kersey. Field goal percentage, both teams shooting ugly at this point. 42 for the Lakers, 41 for the Trailblazers. Trailblazers besting them at the line, being out-rebounded by 1, but they have not taken good care of the basketball, and they have not made a three-point field goal. So the Trailblazers just have to come out and get aggressive. They can get back into this game if they do one thing, just come out, play hard, go to work, and force the Lakers to play from the perimeter. Portland's got to stop standing around.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a birthday today. One of the great sports broadcasters of all time, Chick Hearn. Happy birthday to Chick today. Moments ago, this is what occurred.
How many candles are on that cake?
Oh, my goodness. That is the question that everybody's trying to find out here tonight. How old are you, Chicky baby? Well, it really doesn't make any difference. He's one of the great guys in our league or in sports. And so that's very, very nice for the Los Angeles Lakers, the crew over there, and everybody to do that for him. Good friend, good guy.
Take a look at the NBA scoreboard. Tonight, Boston gets its second winner in a row, led by Xavier McDaniel with 25. Cleveland, a big winner over the Atlanta Hawks at home. Wilkins and Price both with 20. Orlando proving that they can do it anywhere right now. A thundering effort from Scott Skiles, 32.
My goodness.
Houston, a winner out on the road. Olajuwon with 33. Milwaukee continues to win at home and away. Blue Edwards, 26. Washington losers to Minnesota. Person with 26. Dallas, a huge winner over, Seattle, a huge winner over Dallas. Peyton had 31.
How about this score?
And the Utah Jazz, they better go back to the Salt Palace. Woo. Because they've already lost their 4 games that they had lost a year ago in the Delta Center. Phoenix winning big over the Golden State Warriors. Clippers by 1 at the intermission.
New Jersey, they beat L.A. the other night. Now they go over to Utah and beat them. Both games 2-point games for them.
Remember our whatchamacallit?
Yeah, this is great. Hi!
I'd like you know who.
But I got this one.
You'll never forget your big moments with the new UC1.
Nice catch, Dan.
It's the smallest, slimmest Canon 8mm camcorder yet.
Oh, hi, Dad.
Whatchamacallit, who's a what's it?
Purchase a UC1 or any Canon video camcorder and receive a free cellular phone. Camera World, downtown, 500 Southwest 5th in Washington. The nation's largest independent Canon video dealer 3 years in a row.
Randy Travis, he's the best.
Still the real thing.
What a voice.
Hello.
When you found the real thing.
Think he's as cute in person? Uh-huh. What I wouldn't give to meet a guy like him.
Hey, Julie, want to ring up this Coca-Cola Classic?
Thank you.
Can't beat the real thing.
I just got these back from Payless Drugs. Thought you should be the first one to see them.
Oh, please, not the office party.
Yeah. You and the boss's secretary?
Don't remind me.
You and the boss?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, you did?
Oh, promise me you won't show these to anyone.
Okay, but it'll cost you lunch.
Fine, promise me.
In Barcelona?
Oh, fine, promise.
Okay, I promise I won't show these pictures to anyone. In fact, you can have this set.
Oh, this set?
Payless, the drugstore worth talking about.
Nobody in America's ever disliked Saturdays. A day to fool around, even if that means pounding the dents out of an old fender. But sometimes you still need to get your money. That's why Bank of America is now open 9 to 1 on Saturdays. Because you should be able to do anything you want on Saturdays. Even go to the bank. Banking on America. Bank of America.
Imagine no longer being bound by the limits of your telephone. Imagine personal communication no longer tied to a home, an office, even a car. That's why Cellular One is building a new cellular network across North America. Imagine what that freedom can mean to you, to all of us. To reserve your number, call our number, 1-800-IMAGINE.
Every year, the Nelsons gather for the holidays, coming home from near and far to share great food, to taste again their family favorites, to celebrate the season. This year, as in years gone by, all their great food comes from one store, Fred Meyer. A tradition will continue for as long as the Nelsons keep coming home. Welcome home from Fred Meyer.
Genuine Draft congratulates Bobby Rahal on winning the 1992 PPG IndyCar World Series Championship. When we said he was flying, we weren't lying.
Nike how we could design a communications network to actually help them run better, do you know what they told us?
Randy Travis, he's the best.
Still the real thing.
What a voice.
Hello.
When you found the real thing.
Think he's as cute in person? Uh-huh. What I wouldn't give to meet a guy like him.
Hey, Julie, want to ring up this Coca-Cola Classic?
Thank you.
Can't beat the real thing.
BP's research and testing tends to leave an impression on most visitors.
4th floor, aviation fuel research. 6th floor, marine fuel testing.
And we put this research to use in a very practical place, your local BP station.
Pizza for Todd
King. Top floor.
Top floor space research.
BP, on the move.
What's that?
It's a consumer survey. They want to know if you're happy with your car.
Oh, I am.
Oh, I know. And as of last night, so does everybody at the Martins' dinner party.
In its first year, the all-new Toyota Camry moved thousands to appreciate that a car could be everything you want and even more than you imagined.
You gave two complete strangers a 20-minute test drive.
15. I was 15.
The 1993 Toyota Camry. Few cars actually move you. This is one.
Final score tonight, and the Lakers breeze into town, and they're going to breeze right out. They're flying back to L.A. right after the game. And they win it tonight over Portland 98-90. The Blazers just had a tough time. They were standing around and they just couldn't get it done. That's all there was to it, Steve.
The Los Angeles Lakers took advantage of the fact that the Trailblazers were not ready to play. They didn't do a good job of defending. They allowed the Lakers to execute. And James Worthy and friends came up with a big ball game. When they had to have some crucial shots, they were able to get the ball in the basket. You know, when both teams came out of the intermission shooting just above 40%, but it was the Lakers who got hot in the third to keep their separation. Portland never could really find a way to attack the Los Angeles Lakers. They had moments in which it looked as though Portland was going to be able to sustain some momentum. Terry Porter's three-pointer kept the game right around 5 at that point, but it was tough before Portland the entire evening. They couldn't get the drives and the penetration to go. Drexler got fouled on that one, but for the most part, the Laker defense made Portland a perimeter team. They wanted to come out and force them to play outside in, and they were able to do that. You'll see Divac. At this point, the game is within 6 points, and that's a big shot by Vlade Divac to take it up to 8. And they had good defensive pressure on that. So that's a situation where they made the shots when they had to. AC Green stepped in and was able to get control of the basketball and make the pressing defense of Portland pay. And it's a big 2 for them. But you see that the Lakers were backing off. Defensively, they wanted to make Portland play outside in. Cliff Robinson really was the most effective offensive force. He was able to find the seam to drive in on more than one occasion against the big front line of the LA Lakers. But anytime you look back at Portland, you'll see that other than in a pressing situation, they were allowing ball movement and player movement, and that is what hurt Portland. A steal by Rod Strickland. Nice play by Cliff Robinson again. Mario Elie finishes. The Trailblazers lose tonight, but they have Sunday to regain some momentum as they will entertain Sacramento. And I'm sure what Rick Adelman is telling his team now, fellas, write today down. And remember it. We weren't ready to play, and if we're going to do anything, we always have to be ready to play, give themselves a chance to win. It was difficult for them tonight. We go back and look at the game analysis. The Lakers, they forced Portland into a perimeter game. Portland did not prevent Los Angeles from getting cheap baskets, and the Lakers were able to get offensive rebounds. You look at the rebound totals, and somehow the Lakers ended up winning the battle of the boards by 2. And always in the contest between these two teams, it's always been said the team that controls the glass ends up winning the ball game. Hustle board tells you blocks, Portland had an advantage there. The Lakers ended up with more steals. They had a big advantage at the intermission, 13-9. And Portland was out-rebounded. So it's one of those games that comes in the 82-game schedule, and it's something that the coaching staff will hope that their team learns a lesson from. They did. They ate way too much turkey yesterday, and they weren't ready to play tonight. And the Lakers obviously didn't get fed, but they'll eat good tonight. You can count on that as they come up and get a surprising win. And this is a team that the Trailblazers dominated a year ago, and they bring in much of the same company. And a couple of games last year, Portland struggled, but they were able to find a way to prevail. That didn't happen tonight. So the loss may be the best news for the Trailblazers because it should right the ship. They've lost for the second time, and they should be ready to play when they come out again on Sunday as they get ready to go on an important road trip at this early juncture of the season. Bill Shanley is at center court, and the guy that he'll have a chance to speak with is A.C. Green. And you know, A.C. Green is perhaps most happy of all of the Lakers to be able to get a win because now he can toot his horn in his hometown. Let's go to Bill Shanley at center court.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Blazer Scoreboard Show. And from the Los Angeles Lakers, and he's one of our guys in this town. You all know him from Benton High School, Portland, Oregon State, A.C. Green, right here. Al, you caught the Blazers flat-footed tonight, A.C.
Well, I'm glad it was them more than us. Most of the time when we come up here, we're the ones flat-footed, watching paint dry, it seems like. But tonight was our turn to get out there and try and play Blazer-style basketball. That's what the fans wanted to see, so just the wrong team won tonight, that's all.
Tell me about your team. Everybody knows of all the other changes. Tell me how you fellas feel right now.
Well, actually, we feel pretty good. We had to obviously go through a lot of changes early, but with Magic's retirement, going into this season, we of course thought Magic was going to play, and then with his retirement, it was something where we had to really make a quick adjustment. But we knew going into it that it was a possibility that Irvin wouldn't play the whole season anyway, and so we were more prepared this year with the retirement announcement as opposed to last year when we had no clue of anything, and when he retired last year it was in the middle of the season, and it just sort of set us back for weeks at a time to try and get our feet back under us. And so we're doing pretty good right now. Our confidence is up, our faith level is high. We're doing pretty good. We're very confident. So have no pity for the Lakers, really. We're going to take care of business on our own.
And you've been minus Byron Scott for 4 games, too.
That's true, and now that really hurts us, actually, because Byron's such a valuable player for us, but also in his position, and so it brings down, in our 2-guard position, it brings down a number of players to have to try and fulfill that position. And the guys that we have are doing a good job, but it's still tough to replace Byron.
The battle in the West. Do you think it's up for grabs?
What do you think? Is it up for grabs? Well, let me say, Portland is the front runner and the team to beat, obviously. That's just how I feel ever since I've been born and raised here in Portland, that this was the team to beat. But I think a lot of teams are doing very good. They made a lot of good transitions in the offseason. Obviously, Phoenix, Sacramento's doing very well. The Lakers, you know, we're going to be very good and very much of a contender. The Golden State's out there, you know, of course, the Utahs, San Antonio, all those teams are doing very good. They've made a lot of key adjustments, so they're going to be very solid. But Portland is obviously the team to beat for the last 4 or 5 years.
Getting back to the game tonight for just a moment, AC, and then I'll let you go. Coming into tonight's game, strategy-wise, if you will, how did you take a look at this ball game tonight?
I can't give our strategy away. We have to come back here 4 or 5 times. But I'll say this. We were just hoping and praying that Portland was really full of a lot of turkey. And if they were, we thought we might catch them with a belly full of stuffing. And tonight, maybe that's what happened. I don't know. But we really wanted to contain a lot of the perimeter shooters. We know they're a fast-paced team. If they get out on a transition, they can just put a show on, slam dunking, shooting 3-pointers. And we really want to try and contain, keep them neutralized from that standpoint. But other than that, of course, you don't want me to get more specific. I know I don't want to bore you at all. So we caught them a little stuffing in their bellies. So we were happy.
All right, AC, it's always a pleasure to see you. One of our own guys right here, AC Green, our guest. We'll be back right after these messages.
The available anti-lock brakes on the new Geo Prism can help you negotiate driving hazards during hard braking. And every new Prism comes with a driver's side airbag, which we'd also be happy to demonstrate. But you've seen all that before. Besides, why ruin such a beautiful car? Get to know the newest Geo Prism, at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
You can do it. The Bartusek family, lighting up the season with the help of True Value. and their family is turning to our family for the hardware value of the month. It's the double bonus Master Electrician extension cord, 50 feet for the price of 40, and a handy carry strap, a true value at just $677. For personal service and low prices, bring your family to ours.
You can do it with true value.
We couldn't make the day any longer or the distance between people any shorter. But at Cellular One, we can give you the freedom to go where you want to go and never be out of touch with the people who are most important to you. That's why Cellular One is building a new cellular network across North America. To reserve your number, call our number, 1-800-IMAGINE.
When you want all the taste of a great beer without all the alcohol, take time out for a Miller Sharps. And then let the games resume.
Final score here tonight, the Lakers by 8, 98-90. Some of the highlights, Steve, not too thrilling as far as the Blazers are concerned, but the Lakers got the job done.
Lakers got the job done. We'll take a look at the numbers. You can see the Cellular One fast stats. The leading scorer turned out to be James Worthy after a tremendous start. He had a big finish for the Trailblazers. It was Cliff Robinson with a big finish and a solid ball game throughout. Rebounder Sam Perkins struggled from the field but did the job on the glass. And it was Kevin Duckworth leading the Trailblazers, who had 3 players at 5. You look and you circle a percentage. 42%. The Trailblazers were shooting better than the Lakers at the line. Lakers came up. They out-rebounded Portland. They had more assists. They did a better job from the three-point range. So it was a game in which they started very slowly, and you could tell from the outset it was going to be a game in which Portland was going to have to struggle and win ugly. They didn't get it done.
Well, our next televised game will be from Madison Square Garden in New York City. That's going to be on Tuesday night on KGW Television Channel 8 on our Blazer Television Network. Those of you outside of the Portland area, make sure you check for your local area for time and a date. Into each life, little rain must fall. Fell today as far as the Blazers are concerned.
The Blazers got bumped, but they're 8-2. That's a tremendous start on the month. We'll see what happens on Sunday.
All right, Steve. Thank you very much. Lakers do it tonight, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be. Good night, everybody.
This has been a Blazer Broadcasting sports presentation.
Finally win one here.
No, I think so too. I mean, there's no love lost between the coach of the Phoenix Cardinals, Joe Bugle, and his former assistant. You know, I mean, Bugle was an assistant to Joe Gibbs. And I'm with you. I take the Redskins, like you said. They'll have Joe Jacoby back on the offensive line and former Raider Jim Lachey back. I'm with you. Washington, about time they win one at home. And I'm with you, Washington over Phoenix. Interesting game here, Chicago, Cleveland.
I'm going to go with the Browns, not the Bears.
All right. Well, I'm with you. I'm going with the Browns over the Bears, too. Cleveland at home. Bernie Kosar will get his first start since preseason. Cleveland playing great defense. could have won a lot of the games that they lost, but, you know, hindsight is 20/20, and I love the Browns, so I agree with you there. So we agree Browns over the Bears.
Plus, I'm sure we agree that Ditka's gone off the deep end.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he's going to start Peter Tom Willis instead of
Yeah,
Harbaugh.
yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah, he's really going berserk and belongs on a couch with a shrink. No doubt about it. All right, New England and Atlanta.
I'm going to go with the Patsies. They won a couple in a row, and that new kid, what's his name, Zolak?
Zolak, yeah, I like him a lot.
Hopefully he's going to get the start. I heard Millen is coming back soon, but I think they'd be crazy not to go with, you know, anybody else other than Zolak.
Yeah, I mean, Zolak has done very well. They won 2 in a row, and I agree with you. They're going to beat Atlanta down there to make it 3 in a row, and Zolak is very interesting to watch. I like him a lot. So I agree with you, Fred. I take New England to take care of Atlanta. All right, let's go to Cincinnati. Pittsburgh at the Bengals.
I think the Steelers are just too big and tough there, and I guess Cincinnati is bench Boomer, and even though he hasn't played that well, I can't see Cincinnati winning that game.
No, I can't either. I mean, you know, Boomer's gone, and, you know, I just think that, you know, the way that the Bengals are playing, there's no way in the world that Pittsburgh will lose to them. You never know on any given Sunday, of course, but I'm with you. I take Bill Cowher and the Pittsburgh Steelers over David Shula and the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's go to the Bays. Tampa Bay at Green Bay.
I'm going to go with Green Bay. I think they have a lot of heart this year with their new quarterback, Favre. I think they're going to do it.
Yeah, I do, too. They're playing great football right now. Brett Favre doing a tremendous job. Nobody even talks about Don Mikowski anymore.
That's right.
You know, and Brett Favre doing a tremendous job, and I'm with you there. I take Green Bay over Tampa Bay and Sam Weish. Interesting game here, Fred. Philadelphia at San Francisco.
Yeah, that's, I guess, one of the best offenses, or the best offense against one of the best defenses. But I think the 49ers have it cranked up, and they're at home. I'm going to go with the 49ers.
Yeah, I totally agree. So we've been on a roll agreeing here lately. All right, I agree. 49ers easily over Philadelphia. Not easily. It's going to be, like you said, one of the best offensive teams against one of the best defensive teams. But I'm with you. I go with the 49ers and Steve Young. All right, a walkathon here. Buffalo at Indianapolis.
Buffalo Bills.
Yep, all right. No contest. No contest there. Buffalo, you know, I'm really surprised, Fred. Playing in Indianapolis, we don't play point spreads, of course, but Buffalo is a 16.5-point favorite. I mean, that's a lot of points.
That's amazing, especially since it's at Indianapolis.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if I were taking points, I would probably take the points.
I think I'd still take the Bills.
Yeah, well, maybe, yeah, the way they're playing. I mean, Jim Kelly on a roll, and the Bills playing tremendous football right now. And, you know, you never know, but I think Buffalo easily to beat Indianapolis. And finally, Denver at Seattle on Monday night.
Well, I'm going out on a limb on this one. It's at the Dome. Seattle has a decent defense. Denver, maybe always arms a little sore still. I'm going to go with Seattle.
Yeah, well, it's a surprise. I thought you would go with Denver, but I'm with you. That was my long shot pick of the week with my co-host on Tuesday, Jeff Wagner, and I'm going to pick Denver to get beat by Seattle on Monday night. Of course, Seattle only winning 1 game so far this year, but I think it'll go to their second one of the year on Monday night. So we have 3 disagreements, so at least we have a tiebreaker. So somebody's going to win.
That's right.
Our 3 disagreements, you took the Rams to beat Minnesota, you took the Raiders to beat San Diego, and you took New Orleans to beat Miami, and all the rest we agreed on. So it's going to be interesting when we talk on Monday and see what happens there. Did you get to watch any of the pro games yesterday?
I watched a lot of the Detroit and Houston game, and I thought Detroit was going to pull that one out, and they didn't quite do it.
Yeah, I did too. You know, I picked them. I lost to my co-host Jeff Wagner on that one. He took Houston, but you know, I thought the Lions, even though they're in the Silverdome over the years, they never seem to lose on Thanksgiving Day, no matter how bad they are. And like you said, they almost pulled it out, and they were with 2 minutes to go. Their defense couldn't stop them on that last drive by Houston. So you know, Detroit has nobody to blame but themselves. And the Dallas game was a joke. I mean, the Giants are an ugly, ugly team. I mean, you know, they were hammered by the Eagles. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised, Fred, if Ray Handley is the first casualty to be axed this year.
I think he'll be out of there. I think he'll be out. Ditka's liable to be gone. And there'll be, I'm sure, a few others.
Yeah, what do you think about the Marinovich situation? We didn't have too much time to talk about that before. Now, I understand, Fred, that, you know, he's missed team meetings. He's been pouting because he was demoted to 2nd string, and now, of course, he's 3rd string. What's going on with this kid?
You know, I don't know. There's a lot of rumors flying around. You know, the first thing I heard was, well, he had the flu. That's why we put him at third string just for that week. But, you know, I hear it's permanent now for the rest of the year. So I'm sure there's something going on behind the scenes. I think he's going to be warming the pine, so to speak, the rest of this year. And just have to wait and see what's going to happen next year.
You know, rumors are ranting and raving right now that Al Davis, you know how he gets a little bit crazed, and he's made some tremendous deals. He's made some bad ones, but he's also made some good ones. We keep hearing Joe Montana going to the Raiders. What do you think?
You know, I've heard that one too. I just thought about that. It's very possible. I think that Joe Montana is going to be the odd man out in San Francisco. I don't think they're going to go with him anymore. And you know, it fits the Al Davis mold to pick up the guy that's you know, injured and maybe at the end of his career, like he did with Jim Plunkett. You never know.
You never know. I mean, Al Davis is a shrewd one. I mean, I don't agree with everything he does, but, you know, Joe Montana, of course, with all these surgeries on that elbow, you never know. But Al Davis always rolls the dice, and sometimes it comes up craps, and sometimes it comes up 7-11. So we'll see what happens.
He's, you know, his picks as far as quarterback go have either been, you know, excellent or terrible.
Yeah.
You know, the jury's out on Marinovich still, but, you know, at the beginning of the season, I thought that, you know, the best thing to do would be to start Marinovich, and I think Al Davis was didn't agree with that, and I think Art Shell won out in the end, and I have to agree now that Schrader looks a lot better than Marinovich.
Yeah, he does. I mean, I got to, you know, tip my hat a little bit to Schroeder. You know, I blast him on the show a lot, but the last two games, he's looked very, very well.
Yeah, he's kind of stepped in there, and I think he's, I like his attitude anyway. His attitude is good.
And I really think he's got more confidence now because he knows he's the #1 guy.
Right.
And, you know, before, he was on the fence not knowing any time, you know, Marinovich was going to come in there. Now he doesn't have to worry about that, so that's really helped his confidence, I think.
I think so. I agree with you.
All right, Fred, you have a great sports weekend. We will talk on Monday and see who comes up with the winner here in our picks.
All right, great.
Pleasure to have you on the show.
Thanks, Don.
Congratulations again.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye.
Fred. And that was Fred, our winner from this week in our Pick the Pro Games with Me here on the Cable Radio Network. Fred, of course, listening on Century Cable in Redondo Beach. And all the lines are filled right now. I promise we will get to everybody. We'll take a break. We'll have one more sweep of the phones. And then at 10:30, as promised, we'll be joined by Mike Downey of the LA Times talking about the mutt herself, Marge Schott, for all her anti-Semitic comments and her horrible comments against blacks. I mean, she's a disgrace to society, a disgrace to the human race. Other than that, I'm crazy about the guy. All right, so we'll be back with all our callers right after these messages.
Attention cable subscribers. Dimian's Family Restaurant, located in Sun Valley, California, invites you to enjoy fine food and family dining in a great atmosphere. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Dimian's offers a terrific selection of food, always has great specials of the day, and at very affordable prices. Try Dimian's tasty omelets, or choose from their wide variety of soups, salads, sandwiches, hamburgers, and their dinner menu is incredible. Cocktails are also available for your dining pleasure. Dimian's is located at 8274 Sunland Boulevard, right off the 5 freeway at the Sunland off-ramp in Sun Valley, California. Mention you heard this ad on the Cable Radio Network. For more information, call Dimian's Family Restaurant at area code 818-768-7373. That's 818-768-7373. Great food is waiting for you at Dimian's.
Unforgettable. Nothing brings back memories like your hit parade from Time Life Music. You'll get legendary artists like Perry Como, Joe Stafford, Nat King Cole, Doris Day, Johnny Mathis, the Mills Brothers. And the memories begin with 24 all-time hits from 1954.
Hey there, you with the stars in your eyes. Mr. Sandman.
Call now to get 24 of your favorite hits from 1954 at the special price of just $9.99 for compact disc or double-length cassette. Then audition other great hit parade albums, each for 10 days free.
To order your hit parade, call 1-800-342-8100. That's 1-800-342-8100 for your hit parade 1954. many times have you waited to see your favorite music video and just gave up because they wouldn't play it? How many times have you wanted to see your favorite video that the other video channels refused to air? Don't give up. Get the alternative. Get the box. The box gives you the choice. The box gives you the alternative to pick which videos you want to see when you want to see it. From rap to heavy metal to pop to country, the box has it all. You call to play 24 hours a day. You can be the VJ with the box. Available on most cable systems. You got a phone? You got cable television? Then you got the video alternative, The Box. Order your favorite video today. The Box is available on Salmon's Communications in the Glendale, Burbank area of California and on most of these cable systems. Order The Box today.
Hi, this is Rod Blake of the Los Angeles Kings, and you're listening to the Sports Corner with Don Tegler on the Cable Radio Network, your radio channel for cable television.
And thank you very much, Rob Blake, for that nice introduction. And Don Tegler back in the Sports Corner. It's the Sports Friday. One line available at 818-352-7152. Let's get back to the phones. Hi, you're on the Sports Corner with Don Tegler on the Cable Radio Network. Your name, please.
This is Ray.
Hey, Ray, how you doing?
All right, how's it going, Don?
Great, Ray. Where are you calling from?
Calling from Northridge.
And you're on CVI Cable.
Correct.
And what's on your mind tonight, Ray?
Well, I was just wondering, I know you talked to, you have Jeff Wagner on your show, I guess it's Tuesday.
Every Tuesday night, he's my co-host, right?
And I'm just wondering, what's the feeling in Cleveland about getting Bernie back? I know some people were kind of liking Tom Zach. I'm just wondering what's the general consensus there?
General consensus is I think they're happy to have him back. As you know, last week, Ray, Bill Belichick, the coach of the Browns, benched Tom Zach in favor of Todd Philcox.
Right.
And, so Belichick is not really sold on Tom Zach. And Jeff has a Browns newsletter that he puts out every week. Now, Jeff was, in agreement with Belichick to bench Mike Tomczak. Now, of course, Bernie will be back this Sunday against Chicago. This will be his first game since the preseason when he hurt his ankle. So he will be back, and I really think that it's going to be a big plus for Cleveland having their leader back in Bernie Kosar. So Jeff is thrilled that Bernie's back. He's not a big Todd Philcox fan. He's not that thrilled with Tomczak either.
Right.
So if Jeff had any pick on the matter, it would be that Bernie Kosar is their quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Bernie's definitely the man. I mean, he's proven himself, and if he's healthy, you got to have him in there.
No question.
But I was going to ask you about that move that Belichick made, and in my opinion, that's a game that I'm sure Jeff would differ with, but in my opinion, that's a game that Belichick actually lost for the Browns.
Oh, yeah, no, Jeff agrees with that. I mean, he won't come out and say it, but Jeff Wagner, my co-host every Tuesday night, the president of the Southern California Cleveland Browns backers, this is a game they should have won last week. They had it, and they blew it. Now, you look at the San Diego game, there's another game they should have won. And it goes on and on. Easily, this team could be very close to a playoff berth or very close to Pittsburgh, maybe like a game behind them. But it didn't get the right bounce at the right time. But I agree with you. Belichick made some mistakes in that game. I totally agree with you.
Well, I didn't see the game, but as I looked in the paper, he pulled Tomczak out with, 5 minutes in the fourth quarter remaining?
Yeah.
Was that about right? So I'm just saying to myself, at that point, your team is winning barely, so why bring in a quarterback who hasn't thrown a pass in, 5-6 weeks or whatever, and he comes in, throws a high ball, and there goes the ball game. I figure at that point, just stay with Tomczak and then go ahead. Your defense is playing good, and go ahead and win the game.
Yeah, I agree. Now, Jeff, like I said, did not agree with me on that. He felt Belichick did the right thing in bringing in Philcox, but I didn't agree with Jeff on that.
All right, Don, that's all I want. I just want to run that by you.
Well, give us a call on Tuesday when Jeff is here and get his read on it. And, of course, we'll talk about what happens this Sunday up in Cleveland as Chicago takes on the Browns at home with Bernie Kosar coming back for his first time since preseason. I really like the Browns in this game. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm looking for the Browns, to win. Like I said, I'm a diehard Browns fan, and, a couple of those losses earlier were kind of crushing for me. But I still think there's some hope for them to sneak to the playoffs, actually.
Yeah, no question about it. All right, Ray, we appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks for your call.
Thank you.
And let's go to the phones. Hi, you're on the Sports Corner with Don Tegler on the Cable Radio Network. Nobody there? Okay, I promise if you hold on, we will get you on. Back to the phones. Hi, you're on the Sports Corner with Don Tegler on the Cable Radio Network. Your name, please.
Hey, Don.
Who's this?
This is Lauren.
Lauren, how you doing?
All right, how's it going?
All right, where are you calling from?
Lakewood.
And what's your cable company?
Colony.
Well, thank you for joining us here tonight on a Sports Friday. Lauren, how you been?
Oh, I'm doing okay. How about you?
Very well. What's on your mind tonight?
Oh, I got a couple things going
Okay.
on. Of course, I like to talk hockey. You know that.
Absolutely. Go right ahead.
Love the Kings. I'm really impressed with the way that the Millen line, Granato, and is it Donnelly, how they're playing.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, what a game tonight, and Rob Stauber is tremendous. I mean, he's 7-0-1. I mean, he's the only undefeated goaltender left in hockey, although he's only played in 8 games. He's still doing a tremendous job.
Don, how do you feel about Probert? I think this guy, I've never liked Probert. He's just really dirty.
It's funny you should mention that. Robert Lane, our production director, and I were watching the game together the night before I went on the air, and we were saying the same thing about Probert. What a thug this guy is. I mean, he'll do anything he can to get, somebody knock their teeth out or get into a brawl with somebody. I don't care for Probert at all.
Well, it seems like every time I've seen a guy, he's either using his stick or his fist, and he nailed Millen tonight right in the face with his stick, and he acted like it wasn't no big deal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's crazy.
They should have kicked the guy. I mean, they should suspend people like that. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, but some of the rules in hockey this year, some of them are good, and I don't agree with a lot of them, like the way they suspend players.
Yeah, I
mean, where they just miss days of games, non-game days.
That's just like slapping their hand and saying, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it
So,
again.
yeah, it's dumb. It's really dumb. And as far as Probert's concerned, the guy's a real thug.
Don, one thing I'd like to mention before I go ahead and leave is the guys who call and continually talk about the Portland Flail Blazers. The Lakers beat them tonight in Portland.
I love that, and I predicted it here. The Trailblazers would lose to the Lakers tonight. It's a big win for the Lakers on the road. Now the Trailblazers have lost their second in a row, and you know how I feel about the Trailblazers. I mean, I bash them every chance I get.
Yeah, I know how that is. Hey, one thing, who do you pick tomorrow with USC Notre Dame?
I am taking, in a surprise, USC to win this game.
I agree. I totally concur with you, Don. I think that's a good pick.
Yeah, I look for an upset. Hey, thanks for your call. Give me a call on Monday, Lauren.
Okay, Don.
Thanks.
Thanks.
And that opens up a line for you, 818-352-7152. We'll take a brief time out, and then we're going to be having some surprise guests. Stand by for that.
Attention cable subscribers. Dimian's Family Restaurant, located in Sun Valley, California, invites you to enjoy fine food and family dining in a great atmosphere. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Dimian's offers a terrific selection of food, always has great specials of the day, and at very affordable prices. Try Dimian's tasty omelets, or choose from their wide variety of soups, salads, sandwiches, hamburgers, and their dinner menu is incredible. Cocktails are also available for your dining pleasure. Dimian's is located at 8274 Sunland Boulevard, right off the 5 freeway at the Sunland off-ramp in Sun Valley, California. Mention you heard this ad on the cable radio network. For more information, call Dimian's Family Restaurant at area code 818-768-7373. That's 818-768-7373. Great food is waiting for you at Dimian's.
Hi, this is Howard Sheldon, your cable radio network astrologer. My new enhanced astrological 900 forecast line, 1-900-288-0155, is the best and most accurate astrological forecast available by phone anywhere. We don't hire someone to make up a reading for 1/12 of the people of the world. You'll receive a forecast that's customized to you personally and precisely calculated to your own birth date, time, and region of birth. You can receive a daily, weekly, or monthly forecast. For an outer planet forecast, most like the ones I do here on the cable radio network, pick the monthly selection. Available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's truly remarkable. Whether you're new to astrology or a professional, I think you'll be amazed. 1-900-288-0155. That's 1-900-288-0155. It's $2 per minute, brought to you by my partners at InfoPhone, adults only, touch-tone phones only.
How many times have you waited to see your favorite music video and just gave up because they wouldn't play it? How many times have you wanted to see your favorite video that the other video channels refused to air? Don't give up. Get the alternative. Get the box. The box gives you the choice. The box gives you the alternative to pick which videos you want to see when you want to see it. From rap to heavy metal to pop to country, the box has it all. You call to play 24 hours a day. You can be the VJ with the box. Available on most cable systems. You got a phone? You got cable television? Then you got the video alternative, The Box. Order your favorite video today. The Box is available on Salmons Communications in the Glendale, Burbank area of California and on most of these cable systems. Order The Box today.
Hi, this is Tony Granado of the Los Angeles Kings, and you're listening to Sports Corner with Don Tegler on the Cable Radio Network, your radio channel for cable television.
And Don Tegler back in the Sports Corner, and as promised, we're going to be joined by the marvelous beat writer for the LA Times. He had a great story in the LA Times today about the mutt herself, Marge Schott, the mutt. So we're going to be joined by our very special guest, Mike Downey. Mike Downey, welcome to the Sports Corner. I really enjoyed your column today on the mutt herself, Marge Schott.
A dingbat, isn't she?
No, she's unbelievable. And Mike, for our fans listening around the country who aren't privileged enough to read your column in the LA Times, could you elaborate on your comments about the mutt, Marge Schott?
Well, she can't get off lightly, as Henry Aaron and others have been pointing out, with the remarks she's made in sworn depositions, and as others have stated in depositions that they have heard or overheard Marge Schott make. Racial slurs go on and on ad nauseum, and it's intolerable. What Al Campanis had said justifiably got him removed from his position with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and baseball has to intervene in this because Marge Schott doesn't answer to an owner of a team the way Al Campanis did. So it's up to baseball, the way they stepped in with George Steinbrenner, to do something about this. And with the kind of remarks Marge Schott has made in reference to African Americans and Jewish Americans or Jews of any origin, I just believe that Bill White and Bud Selig and the people at the top of the National League and of baseball itself just won't be able to excuse it.
No, it's just inexcusable, her comments, a swastika in her home. I mean, why shouldn't she just come out and say yay or nay?
My least concern in the Marge Schott affair is the swastika, believe it or not, because even though I think it's a horrible thing to have in your possession, this was not a woman who was wearing a swastika in public. She had one somewhere in her home, I presume in a drawer, as some sort of a misguided souvenir. I don't think that's a very nice thing, too, but I'd hate for people to go through your private bureaus and closets and find whatever souvenirs you might have in there. So that's a little bit different than being a Socialist Party member and walking around with a swastika on your armband. But her remarks are just so incredible. When someone asked her if she supposed that Jewish people might have take offense at a swastika, or anyone would, she said something along the lines of, why? She doesn't even understand it. She doesn't even get it. And
is she that prejudiced and that ignorant?
As saying that maybe Hitler had the right idea.
Yeah, I mean, what an ignoramus. I mean, like you said, your tagline to your column in the LA Times today was just a marvelous comment that I really think, was right on. She has demonstrated that you don't have to be a man to be a jerk, and that really sums it up.
Well, you don't say no comment now, or you don't say it's possible I said that about Dave Parker or that about blacks, or I might have, or I don't recall. Those kind of remarks, you say no. You say, no, I never said anything that awful in my whole life. I couldn't make my lips form words like that. Disgusting, vile comments. She doesn't say that. She doesn't say, oh, I never said that sort of thing. She says it's possible I might have. And one person after another is coming forward now because someone else had been brave enough to step forward in the first place. And just as in a lot of other sensitive matters, others are feeling that they can take a deep breath now and go ahead and tell some of their stories about what this woman has said and done. And she used to be a comic figure with her St. Bernard and everything else.
Yeah.
Used to think of her as silly and not unhealthy for the game. Just she had her own eccentricities, but she's appalling as it turns out, and she needs to be retired from public life.
No question about it. And to quote another piece out of your column today in the Los Angeles Times, we're talking to Mike Downey, the marvelous writer of the LA Times, who did a great story on the mutt herself, Marge Schott, today. Your great line is, someone should sweep her up after her mess, as with her dog. What's the bottom line here? Are they going to do anything? Bill White, Bud Selig, what's the bottom line, Mike?
Well, don't forget there was a holiday yesterday, and they probably didn't have a full work week, but there is a little bit of a fear that by meeting with some civic leaders and saying that she'll watch it from now on, that life can go on. And as Henry Aaron and the director of the Anti-Defamation League pointed out this week, this isn't so forgivable. This isn't under the category of forgive and forget. This woman still employs human beings. She's a figure of authority. She's a public figure in Cincinnati, Ohio, and in the game of baseball. And there's precedent set for not tolerating behavior like this. The Cincinnati Reds have a terrible track record on minority hiring. They finally got around to naming Tony Perez as their manager, but she does it by giving him a one-year contract when other inexperienced managers have gotten 2 and 3, and the man's a local legend. She hired him at a cheap price, and she made smart-ass remarks about him at the press conference itself, as though, she was barely able to tolerate the idea that this man was her manager. The more you study her behavior now, the more suspicious you become of what's going on in that crazy head of hers.
No question about it. And to quote another line out of your great story today in the LA Times, I mean, like you said, she hired Tony Perez, minority. Now she has one black person in the front office of the Cincinnati Reds, and she's quoted as saying, "I would rather have a trained monkey than hire a nigger." I mean, what do you make of statements like that?
Well, again, this is what someone from the Oakland Athletics front office claimed that Marge Schott, during a conference call with other owners, was overheard to say on a speakerphone with the speakerphone on. And this was not something she stated in a deposition or at a public forum, but this person is coming forward to show this as another example of the way she speaks. And it reminds me a little bit of Happy Chandler, who tossed that N-word around and claimed later on that that's just the way we spoke here in the South, and we don't mean anything. That's just a word we use, the way maybe our parents had said colored and didn't mean anything by it, and when a lot of people found that objectionable later on. If there was one example or one odd little quirky example that might have been taken out of context, that's one thing. But that remark aside, and if she said that, and if it's proven she said that, then she ought to be retired to a pasture somewhere permanently.
Unbelievable.
See, again, that's not been proven that she said that. She's been accused of saying that one. But
that's alleged, right?
She gave a sworn deposition about. They asked her, "Did you ever refer to Martin Luther King Day as Nigger Day?" And her answer was, "It's possible." And did you ever refer to Dave Parker as that dumb nigger? And she said, "I don't recall." What do you mean I don't recall? The answer is no if you didn't say it.
Exactly. So it sounds like a cop-out to me.
Well, I don't recall. I don't recall ever saying that Hitler might have had the right idea. Who doesn't recall being able to have an attitude like that? I'm not talking about being able to remember every single word you ever spoke in your life. I'm talking about if somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, Downey, did you call Dave Parker a nigger?" I'd punch him.
Exactly.
I'd say, who started a story like that? How dare you ever say I said that about somebody? But, Marge Schott doesn't say that. She goes, "Gee, it's possible. Gee, I don't remember." Come on.
Yeah. I mean, that's absolutely crazy.
She's entitled to live her life. There are a lot of people who are able to say whatever they want. There are blacks who speak against whites, Jews against Christians, Christians against Jews. This goes on. But not to be the owner of the Cincinnati Reds and be accountable to the public of Cincinnati, to the fans, to employ ball players, black, white, Hispanic, you name it. This is a dangerous person, and we shouldn't take action against her physically. Just make sure that she's removed from where she can't do any more harm.
A la the George Steinbrenner situation with the Yankees. A different situation, but, I mean, she's the owner, but suspend her, indefinitely or forever as far as I'm concerned.
Well, when you give lifetime suspensions, albeit they were changed in Steinbrenner's case, to George Steinbrenner, Steve Howe and Pete Rose for their various indiscretions, all of which were probably necessary in their own way. I don't know that what Marge Schott didn't do isn't worse than what they did. Pete Rose broke the law, paid his debt to society in his back, and Pete Rose, has had a human foible, and he didn't hurt other people. He hurt himself, and he broke the law, and he paid for it. I just think that this is rather sinister.
No, it really is.
I'm not sure I would be able to trust anything she said or did, any action she took beyond this. Again, this isn't talking about somebody you should put to death. We're not talking about, this person ought to be wiped off the face of the earth. I just don't think she ought to be in a position where she could be the owner of the Cincinnati Reds anymore, and baseball has plenty of precedent toward intervening in a matter like this.
No question about it. So this story is not going to go away. I think we're just hearing the beginning of this, and let's hope down the road that they do act on it, a la Bill White, Bud Selig, and Major League Baseball. Donald Fehr came out and made some statements against her and thought it was tragic what she had to say.
Well, it turns out it's left up to the Hank Aaron's of the world, who's among still one of the few reigning executives of a Major League Baseball team, and even Hank Aaron's title in Atlanta is a little more titular than he's not John Sherholz. He doesn't run the day-to-day operations of the club, but thank goodness Hank Aaron, who has been blind on that issue in some matters. Hank Aaron goes too far sometimes. In this case, he's right on that he's not going to let this drop. That this is not the kind of thing in 1992 we can tolerate. And if you recall, after the Al Campanis incident, which has got to be about 5 or 6 years now, baseball was going to take all these strides to make sure that minority hiring was a reality, that they were going to make sure that more and better things happen. And we just got around to finally getting Don Baylor, in the dugout for the Colorado Rockies. I mean, it's still rather pitiful what's going on, but when you think about titles on Major League Baseball teams above the rank of field manager, you could look around the league all week long trying to find somebody.
No question about it.
So as long as Bill White's still in office, and I don't think he's going to be in office much longer, but again, it's implicit that he was going to do something, and it's imperative that he does.
Particularly because he's black himself.
Particularly so, and that Bud Selig is Jewish, and you would think they would have a particular interest, but I'd just like to point out that I wouldn't care if he was Japanese, if he was Chinese, Spanish, Italian, Irish. It wouldn't matter what he was. You just don't tolerate.
No, it's just intolerable. Absolutely right. We're being joined by Mike Downey of the Los Angeles Times. He wrote a very great article today in the LA Times. All you fans listening around the country here to the Sports Corner on the Cable Radio Network getting an in-depth look at Mike's article about Marge Schott, and it certainly was right on. Mike, just changing gears a moment, you touched on a few things that I was going to ask you, so I want to cover those. Your thoughts on the Steve Howe mess. I mean, is this guy a cat or what? I mean, how could George Nicolau, the arbitrator, let this guy back into baseball? You really think this is going to happen, or is Stephen Greenberg, the deputy commissioner, going to fight this thing?
Well, just to show that hysteria isn't going to rule this radio program tonight, I'm going to say here and now that Marge Schott and Steve Howe alike ought to have their day in court, or at least be heard from. And Marge hasn't said a single thing, in her defense that's made what her actions excusable. Steve Howe has had his day in court. He's had it in a legitimate court of law, and he's also had it with baseball. And he of course doesn't fall into the category of second chance or third chance anymore. He's on his 7th or 8th chance. I don't think it's absolutely clear that Major League Baseball, just because he can play baseball again, has to allow him to. I know there's going to be a premium on pitching, and I know the New York Yankees, shame on them, are already claiming that they're interested in having him back. But just because Steve Howe is eligible to play does not mean that one of the major league teams have to sign him. And he's not going to be able to prove collusion the way a free agent might, just because no team has made a bid on him. My point is, if you want to say that he's eligible to play again, even though you and I strongly disagree
that
he should be allowed to play again, never mind shame on George Nicolau, who's just acting as an official arbitrator and trying to view this the best he can as being the arbiter of Steve Howe's fate or an individual's fate. Never mind shame on George. Shame on the team that hires Steve Howe. Nobody has to give him a job, and if the New York Yankees give him another contract, it's just like Roy Tarpley getting his 3rd and 4th chance and all that. shame on the team that puts itself out like that. Now, some people say it'll serve them right to give him $1 million or something like that. They're not going to do it that way. It's going to make it worse. What they're going to do is they're going to give him incentive clauses. They're going to say, all right, you have to be on your best behavior, and you have to pitch this many innings, and you have to take these many urine tests, and if you're clean in September, then you'll get your money. That defeats the purpose of this. That just shows every kid in the country that don't worry about taking drugs because we'll get you past that. We'll make sure you'll get plenty of other chances. That's why I say it's not so much denying people their rights to play. It's don't give them a job.
Absolutely.
They can go out and get a job in the real world and just feel that they're not going to accommodate him. He's not supposed to go to jail. He's not guilty of a crime that he's about to be sentenced to go to prison. So it's strictly up to baseball whether or not to employ him or not. Don't do it. Otherwise, every don't use drug message they have is just laughable.
Exactly, because it just sets a bad example for other players. And like you said, the kids in the world will see Steve Howe get away with this. Hey, Mom and Dad, it's okay to do that. I can still play. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Right, but let's not get on the judge. Let's not get on the arbiter for making a difficult decision that might have been based on legal technicality. Let's get on the team that says, okay, he's available. We need a left-hander. The hell with that. Don't put him on your field. So, Steve Howe is another one. He ought to be able to walk the streets. He ought to be able to get work. But baseball has set a code, a moral code of standards. They have their own drug education policies, their own, prohibitive, standards that of behavior and that you have to follow, and it's built into your contract that you have to obey our laws and abide by baseball's laws about drug use, and this guy hasn't. Don't hire him.
And that's the bottom line. We're being joined in the Sports Corner tonight here on the Cable Radio Network by Mike Downey of the Los Angeles Times. Let's turn to another individual that I'm a big fan of, and I want to get your thoughts because you are a voter, of course, for the Hall of Fame people that get in. Give me your thoughts on Pete Rose. I mean, he served his time for tax evasion. The other issue was gambling on baseball. It's never been proven that he did. But, of course, he wouldn't have faced a lifelong suspension if he didn't. So give me your thoughts on Pete Rose. If they reinstated him tomorrow, would you vote for him to go in the Hall of Fame?
Yes, and once again, there are people in baseball's past, including in the Hall of Fame, who were not angels. And Pete Rose did wrong, went to jail for it, didn't hurt anybody, didn't kill anybody. He messed up. He messed up once, paid the price, one of the greatest baseball players ever. You don't have to let him play again. You don't have to let him manage again. But to not honor his achievements is to say we should wipe Nixon and Kennedy and different people out of the record books, that we should pretend that they were never presidents of the United States because of things they did out of the White House.
Yeah, very good.
It's just the man had his track record, and that's perpetual. What he did on the field is what he did on the field, and you don't make him a non-person because of it.
Exactly. So give me your gut feel. Do you think Pete Rose down road in the near future will be reinstated into baseball and eventually in the Hall of Fame?
I do. There'll be a new commissioner, and even if this one doesn't feel that way, the next one will. It won't go on forever and ever. Just as Julius Joe Jackson will be allowed in, and it might be after our deaths. But it'll happen someday because people do come to their senses. Look at Alger Hiss.
Yeah.
It takes a long time sometimes for either the people to find forgiveness in their heart or to just have some understanding. Now, that said, I'm sure some people would say, well, what about Steve Howe? Again, after Steve Howe's first bust and his third and his fourth, violation, you started saying, well, the guy's got a problem. He's got an illness. He's got, let's feel sorry for him. You did for a while. If Pete Rose had gotten arrested 7 times for gambling, or tax evasion, or just over and over and over, you'd begin to think, gee, what's wrong with this guy? But for somebody to make a mistake and to hold it against him the rest of his life, a mistake, I just don't feel that way about it.
Yeah, I don't feel that way at all. Of course,
we have a little room in our heart.
Yeah, definitely. And we're being joined tonight here in the Sports Corner on the Cable Radio Network by Mike Downey, marvelous writer for the Los Angeles Times. And Mike, before I let you go, let's just turn to some fun side of sports. We've been talking police blotter stuff, but let's just for fun, I want to get your thoughts. Who's going to win tomorrow, USC or Notre Dame?
SC is a team that defies predictability. They beat Oklahoma when Oklahoma looked like it was going to be a very good team, and that game was at Norman. Another week they would play and look just terrible against Stanford. You just never knew what you were going to get with this SC team this year, which was not a team like UCLA that was racked with injuries. When they go out and shut teams down over and over in the fourth quarter of games defensively, and then play UCLA, which had one of the worst offensive teams in the country this season because of all the injuries to their quarterbacks and halfbacks, and give them 38 points and blow a 31-17 league, then there's no way I can look at this SC team and figure them out. I think they haven't beaten a Notre Dame in 10 years or something like
9 years. 9 years. This will be their 10th shot at it.
And it'd be easy to say that Notre Dame's the better team this year, but you've seen too much college football this year where you couldn't figure out 1 minute to the next why Washington is the best team you've ever seen, and the next thing you know is 12th and 13th in the rankings, or that Michigan looks to be, for all the world, as good a team as you've seen all year and wind up getting tied 3 times.
Yeah, it's
no way to call this game. If you had to put a buck on it, maybe you'd say Notre Dame because it just seems like they have a better football team.
No question about it. And finally, hypothetically, let's say, for instance, Notre Dame does win this game. Okay, Larry Smith is 0-5 against the Fighting Irish. Do you think his job will be in jeopardy next year at USC?
I do. I don't necessarily think that it should be. The man went to the Rose Bowl his first 3 years. He came off a 3-win season last year and did a pretty good job this year. But I know how USC's alums tend to feel about him in general, about the Notre Dame game specifically and losing it year after year, about how the program has gotten to a point where it does win only 3 games just because the quarterback leaves school early or comes back the following year and loses to UCLA again. I would think if USC loses this game, Larry Smith's job is very much hanging by a thread.
And the name that keeps being floated around, the rumor mill, if you will, Mike, is John Robinson going back to USC. Your thoughts on that?
I think that's barstool talk. I think that's one of those things where people just sit around and think, well, yeah, that'd be a natural. John's available. I think a rumor like that winds up becoming sort of hot stove gossip, and the next thing you know, it's being talked about as though somebody in the SC front office is already exploring that possibility. I don't think anybody over there has gotten anywhere to the point of even talking about such a thing. But if Larry Smith loses his job at some point, I think John Robinson would be a candidate for it if he wanted it. It's my gut instinct that that'll never happen, that they'll wind up going in another direction entirely. They went to another Pac-10 school last year to get their coach, which seems to almost violate a propriety the way when the Raiders needed a new coach a couple years ago. They went to the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, right.
I don't quite follow how SC felt that they could do that instead of keeping it in the family, but ours is not the reason why.
Exactly. Well, Mike, I thank you so much for your time, and I hope you had a great Thanksgiving yesterday, and we'll look forward to having you on the show again.
Thank you, Don.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks again to Mike Downey of the LA Times, talking a little bit about the Mutt herself, Marge Schott, amongst other things. Hope you fans around the country listening to the Cable Radio Network enjoyed that in-depth look at some of our controversial figures in sports. Don Tegler here in the Sports Corner. All the lines are jammed right now. I will get to everybody, so I guarantee if you hold on, we will get you on right after these timeouts.
Now, some odd facts about hot dogs. More hot dogs are consumed by women than men, more by adults than children, and while hot dogs are America's favorite fun food, being devoured in so many fun places, more are enjoyed as a dinner entree within the home. Another fact, that Farmer John's hot dogs offer a little more to please you, and not odd at all, since Farmer John does a little more to make them more pleasing, like assuring the freshness of his hot dogs by being the only packer to use locally dressed, locally fresh Eastern corn-fed pork, along with juicy, fresh domestic beef, like grinding his hot dogs into a meatier texture, then enhancing their goodness with a livelier blend of costly natural herbs and spices. And finally, Farmer John gives his hot dogs a heartier, truly Western flavor that appeals to our special Western tastes. Farmer John Wieners, 10-inch extra-long wieners, Dodger dogs, Farmer John beef franks, and the exciting quarter-pound dinner franks. Just look for the farmer in the deli. Farmer John.
Unforgettable. Nothing brings back memories like your hit parade from Time Life Music. You'll get legendary artists like Perry Como, Joe Stafford, Nat King Cole, Doris Day, Johnny Mathis, the Mills Brothers. And the memories begin with 24 all-time hits from 1954.
Hey there, you with the stars in your eyes, Mr. Sandman.
Call now to get 24 of your favorite hits from 1954 at the special price of just $9.99 for compact disc or double-length cassette. Then audition other great hit parade albums, each for 10 days free.
To order your hit parade, call 1-800-342-8100. That's 1-800-342-8100 for your hit parade 1954.
Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. You're listening to the Sports Corner right here on the Cable Radio Network. How about that?
And Don Tegler back in the Sports Corner on the Cable Radio Network. And we're going to get to all your calls. Let's begin right now. Hi, you're in the Sports Corner with Don Tegler on the Cable Radio Network. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, this is Eric.
Eric, how you doing tonight?
Good evening, Don.
Did you have enough turkey yesterday?
Yeah, a lot of ham, too.
Oh, yeah, me too. Pigged out a lot. And what did you think of the games yesterday?
Well, again, the Oilers, you know, they got lucky again.
Yeah.
And then, like you predicted, the Cowboys really
Demolished the Giants.
feasted on the Giants. But that quarterback, Brown from Duke, he looked pretty good.
He looked pretty good. Dave Brown, a kid out of Duke, he sure did.
Oh, yeah.
What did you think of Kurt Graham?
Let's face it. They were playing against the Cowboys. He had lousy field position, and he really couldn't really show his ability, and it was just too bad. Well, I was going to call you up, and I know you heard the news about Al Toon.
Yeah, that's sad. One of the great players with the Jets retired today.
It really is, because I think that's another one. That's another player that's fallen under the case of AstroTurf.
Yeah, very good point. I mean, you know how I feel about AstroTurf. I hate this stuff. And another caller earlier tonight pointed out a good point. The Georgia Dome, of course, is AstroTurf.
Yep.
And, you know, so many football fields and baseball diamonds around the league are. And I think it's shameful. I really do.
Let me tell you this, and I don't know if you might disagree and stuff, but I've been in Minneapolis. I've been in the Metrodome, and I've been on the Metrodome turf, and I would have to say that's one of the safest turfs because it's very spongy. They use a lot of padding, and I wish Monsanto, you know, when they make the AstroTurf, at least put a lot of protection, because when you look at you roll over the turf and stuff, it's cement, and there's really no padding underneath there. And it's like playing on cement. And a guy like Toon, I mean, this guy, oh boy, he was a great player. 9
concussions over his career, and that finished him.
Exactly, and I was going to say, he was kind of, a couple of years ago, I heard a lot of rumors about him being traded to the 49ers. He would have been joined with, you know, Taylor and Rice, and he would have been a great player. But it's just too bad. And another point I want to bring up is this week is week 13?
Yes.
And this is the bad luck week. Bad luck week, I guess, because let's see, the Dolphins. I've done a little bit of researching with the Dolphins, and I've looked when they played teams, the NFC teams in week 13. They have usually upset them. And I think they're 3-1, and they're going against the Saints. And I think that the Dolphins, with their kind of style, like the 49ers short passing game and running attack, I think they might upset the Saints in the Dome.
Yeah, that's what I picked. I picked Miami to take care of the Saints this weekend. And another thing, Eric, I must point out is a team that usually plays on Monday night, like the Saints did, struggle on Sunday. So we'll see if that continues. And I'm with you. I'm taking the Dolphins to beat the Saints at home.
Also, I was going to say, Don, throw in the fact they got to play Thursday night against the Falcons. So
yeah, that's a very good point. Thursday night, week 14, they play the Falcons. Yeah, so they got like 3 games in 10 days. So that's a tough schedule.
And I was going to say, the Chargers and the Raiders, that's a very big playoff. I hope the Chargers could, let's see, Jay Schrader's quarterbacking. So let's see, the Chargers have that great young defense, and I really feel that. I think if Schrader throws 3 interceptions, I think that's going to be the key. Marion Budd's great running back. I was wondering, is Eric Bieniemy, is he off the injured list? Or?
Yeah, he's playing.
Oh, is he playing?
He's playing. Of course, Rob Bernstein's out for the year.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, that really hurts them. But they got that guy, Ronnie Harmon.
Ronnie Harmon and Marion Butts. I mean, you know, they got enough to fill in, and Bieniemy, of course. So,
right.
I mean, I miss Bernstein. but unfortunately he's gone for the year, even including if the Chargers should make the playoff, unfortunately. And they also, have some injuries defensively, but this is a very good Charger defense this year. I mean, Bill Arnsberger, the defensive coordinator, doing a great job, as is Jack Riley, the offensive coordinator. And, of course, what can you say about Bobby Ross doing a tremendous job? And Bobby Beathard made a great move in nailing Stan Humphries from the Redskins.
And I was going to say, the key was when they were picking quarterbacks and stuff, that guy, Brent Favre, boy, if the Falcons would have, look, if they would have had him, I think they would have had
Yeah, of course, the Green Bay Packers stole him from the Falcons.
Right.
They left him unprotected, and bingo, they picked him up off the waiver wire.
And I was going to say, because you mentioned Bobby Beathard, I mean, I think he's one of the best executives, in pro football. And I was hearing that they may have had a chance to get him, but they lost out to the Packers. So I think it's going to be an interesting game. And your thought about the USC and Notre Dame game?
Yeah, I had talked to an earlier caller. I'm taking, you know me, Mr. Underdog. I'm going with USC to upset Notre Dame tomorrow.
By how many points?
Well, it's probably going to be a close game. I look for USC to beat them by maybe 7.
Really, I think this game's going to be. I think whoever gets out of the teens is going to win, and I like Notre Dame. I'm a very big fan.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's going to be. I think whoever dominates the line of scrimmage and whoever has the better running attack, I think is going to win the ball game.
No question about it. Rick Meyer should have a huge game, and I'm just not a big Lou Holtz fan. He's a great lookalike for Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say it. Also, I'm not too keen on Cole Farr. I'd rather take a Craig Hentrick for field goal kicking, any day of the week.
Yeah, absolutely, no question about it.
Or I wish they had John Carney, but he can't. He's with the Chargers now.
Yeah,
so.
right. But I just don't understand, Larry Smith. I mean, how did they get so hammered by UCLA last week with a walk-on, John Barnes, if you will, from UC Santa Barbara, who had a tremendous game against that vaulted USC defense, and they were just bad last week.
I don't know. It's just hard to say when you play. I don't know when UCLA and USC plays. It's a rival game. You hear the old cliches. Throw off the records and stuff. This is for pride and this and that. But that was a game that I think USC should have had, and I think they if they would have had that and they could have won, I think they could have got to the Fiesta Bowl. And I think if they lose to Notre Dame, I think they're going to be playing against Fresno State in the Freedom Bowl.
Yeah, Freedom Bowl. Yeah, exactly.
All righty, Don.
All right, Eric. Good to hear from you. Have a good sports weekend, and we'll talk on Monday.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. That opens up a line for you at 818-352-7152. Let's go to John. John, you're on the Sports Corner with Don Tegler on the Cable Radio Network. How are you doing, Mr. Failblazer? You're all choked up with the Lakers taking care of the Failblazers tonight.
Well, Don, hey, I gotta tell you, and I told you, Rick Adelman, I gotta deal with this because they did lose. They lost 2 straight games. I mean, I heard reports in Portland that he gets so little respect as a coach. His own mother don't talk to him during the basketball season.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
Yeah, I heard the family dog don't even want nothing to do with him. But
well, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
by the way,
this guy's a brick of
Don, I
brick.
have found the perfect name for the Seattle Seahawks.
All right, run it by me.
The Seattle Lamb Pigeon.
Hey, John?
Yeah.
Get a new writer.
What's wrong with the Lamb Pigeon?
I don't like that one. But you have some good ones sometimes. What do you think of my...
By the way, Don, I got a winner of the prestigious Claire Limbozo Award.
Okay.
The Oklahoma Sooners for failing to win B500 this year.
Oh, they're horrible. What a joke. I mean, they were hammered today by Nebraska.
I mean, Gary, please, somebody in high school hire me right now as a Coach Gibbs. I mean, God, Oklahoma, boy, they are really...
Well, they had a bad year. Nebraska's had a decent year. Of course, they're headed to the Orange Bowl as long as they beat Kansas next week. But big win for Nebraska today, 33-9. Oklahoma's been in the tank all year long.
Yeah, I just think it's real. It's just real pathetic, Don. And by the way, talking about disappointments, how could the Clippers lose to the...
Do you believe that three-point shot? We'll be having a report in that game from James Loving about 11:30. He was at the game, and he'll tell us about it. But a three-pointer at the end, what was it, a 40-footer?
I don't know what it was.
I think it was a 45-foot shot, three-pointer, end the game. Denver 109, Clippers 106. Are you a Clipper fan?
Yeah, I am. I do like the Clippers.
Despite Fat Plate Williams and Stanley Roberts?
Oh, no. Stanley Roberts' new name is microscopic because his stats are microscopic. You need a microscope.
That's good. I like that.
You need a microscope to find his stats.
Yeah, you really do. And, I mean, how come whenever he gets in the game, he's in foul trouble immediately?
I don't know, Don. I think what it is, he wants to hurry up so he foul out, so he'd go to McDonald's.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's funny.
By the way,
That's
Don,
very true.
I do got on the other end of the scale, I got a winner of the Riley Dunleavy Award for success no matter where to go. I got to give Cody Carlson a lot of credit.
He had a tremendous game yesterday against the Lions. I mean, 300 yards plus, tremendous game.
And Don, by the way, did you? I don't know who said it on the New York Midgets. Yesterday's game. I mean, said that they should take it easy on the rookie quarterbacks.
No, I didn't hear that, but
Well, that's what I heard.
yeah.
That they deserve a Bozo Award too. And I heard that Jim Everett was complaining that the 49 was pouring it on. 27-10 is pouring it on, Don.
Not really, not really. I'm amazed. I mean, I like Everett, good quarterback, nice guy, class act, but he doesn't usually complain too much. But I don't really think that's running up the score, not at all.
Don, I want to talk about the Mars shot situation.
Yeah, give me your thoughts on her. You just heard the interview with Mike Downey that I had. He wrote a column about her today.
She's ignorant. She's a boob.
Yeah.
She just don't get it. She's just a plain sick woman.
Yeah, very sick woman, very unintelligent.
But I must admit, I don't think she should be ousted yet. She's done some heinous things. But even her players have stuck up for her. And that is, if the players hadn't stuck up for her, then maybe you had to say there's something wrong. But Barry Larkin and some of the other players have stuck up for her.
You remember a couple of years ago, John?
Oh, Eric Davis.
With Eric Davis, yeah.
Well, I don't think Eric Davis and her are going to be...
No, but that was rotten of her to do that to him.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and...
God busts his butt. She could bust her butt, too.
Yeah, well, I just think she's a disgrace.
Well, to me, though, this is what I say they should do. Talk to her, put a serious reprimand. This is her first strike. She gets 2 more strikes. And if she don't get the point, and she's still screwing around her organization, and don't start acting sensitively, then she has to be removed. A lot of people say she should be gone now. Granted, I don't think so.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Al Campana situation.
And Al Campana, I felt dumb statements, but I don't think he should have been ousted. I am a minority, Don.
I know.
But, for example, I have many times called George Bush George Hick or George Redneck because I think in a lot of ways he's racist.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't go as far as Marchot do. What I'm saying is, it's understandable. It's sad, but it is understandable. There are a lot of racial intolerance in this country still, Don.
Unfortunately.
And, I think Marchot,
She's ignorant. She's a total imbecile.
Yeah, she don't get it. But I don't think she should be ousted yet.
Well,
and I am a minority.
Yeah, but weren't you, as a minority, insulted by her comments?
Yeah, I am offended, but I heard one guy on another sports show. He said, hey, I take $3 million. If the lady want to give me $3 million to still play for her, I play for her. Fine. I can overlook a little, quite a few negative insults to get some money and play my butt off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, Don, look at Barry Larkin. That guy's a great player, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. But yet he still puts up with it. He gets paid well.
Yeah, that's true.
So what I'm saying is maybe some people get a little too, I don't know.
But she's not only offended the blacks of this country, she offended,
sure,
she offended the Jewish people of this country,
I think
too.
it's horrible.
Yeah.
Like I said, Don, baseball should put a serious reprimand in her, make her sign.
And I'm really surprised that Bill White has not come forth and said anything, and he's the National League Commissioner, and he's black. It's really amazing that he has not stepped forward.
Oh, Bill, please don't get me no controversy, White. Yeah,
yeah, right.
I mean, this guy, I tell you, I bet you at home he hiding under the sheets if anybody calls him. I mean, this guy's so scared.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard reports that he's going to be stepping down, and when is he going to step down as National League President? I mean, he was supposed to be out of there at the end of the season, and he's still there.
Oh, by the way, Don, I got a separated berth from Marchot.
Yeah.
Marchot and Boris Yeltsin.
Yeah, it's very good.
Oh,
very
by the way,
good.
Don, did you see Al Davis' movie debut?
No, tell us about it.
Stalin. He played the title role.
John, you're too much. Thanks for your call. Have a great sports weekend.
Don, real quick, I
yeah.
got to ask you about a few games.
Okay.
Minnesota and the Rams, who you like?
I like Minnesota.
Me too, Don.
All right.
San Francisco and the Philadelphia Feebles.
Oh, San Francisco, of course.
Yeah, some people say the Philadelphia Feebles going to win. Oh, really?
I doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, Rich Kotite is more conservative than Pat Buchanan.
Yeah.
And the New Orleans Anesthesias against the
I'm taking the Dolphins against the Saints in an upset.
No, Don, it's the Anesthesias because they put you to sleep with their offense.
Oh, Jim Morris. Oh my God, are they conservative?
Yeah,
unbelievable. Their defense is tremendous, led by Pat Swilling, but offensively, you're right. They do put you to sleep.
So, like I I said, Don, they refer to it as, for now, the New Orleans, until they change the office, the New Orleans Anesthesias.
Yeah, it's funny. I like that.
You like that name, huh?
Yeah.
Well, Don, like I said, I give you credit. Rick Alamone, Rick Alamone, the worst coach in this second half of this century.
You know, I'll guarantee it before I go off the air tonight at midnight, I probably won't get any Failblazer calls tonight.
The Clutch Blazer, they still the Clutch Blazer, but they, you know what? I tell you what, Don, there's a guy that does the Clippers games. I bet you.
Oh, that Homer, Ralph Lawler?
No. Oh, Bill Walton.
Oh, Bill Walton.
I bet you he could do a better job than Rick Alamone, don't you think?
Yeah, probably. I mean, he played for the Failblazers.
What you got against Ralph Lawler, Don?
Oh, he's a homer. I've had him on my show twice, and he just has been, he would never put anything negative into the bag of worms that I threw at him about the Clippers. I mean, everything was, Clippers this, they're great. Stanley Roberts is going to be an all-star. Hot Fat Williams is going to lose weight and be great. I mean, he was right about Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson has played very well. But, I'll never have Ralph Lawler on the show again because he's too much of a homer.
Oh, by the way, one more thing, and I got to give kudos to UCLA with a big win tonight against Florida State in the NIT.
Oh, yeah, UCLA won against Florida State tonight, 86-83 in the semifinal. And, of course, the brain-dead Bobby Knight's team took care of Seton Hall tonight.
What do you call him?
Brain-dead.
Why?
I don't like the guy. He's like, I think he and Mike Ditka are related.
Oh, I heard the crazy story. Heard Mike Ditka got ousted or something?
No, there's a rumor going around that the Pittsburgh college football team has made an offer to make him the head coach, and Ditka has not responded.
Now, why would they want to hire Captain Bly?
It's amazing to me.
I mean, this guy, I tell you, this guy probably punch out his mother if she got on his
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Well, Don, you'll be on Monday, right? Normal time?
Yes, 9 to midnight Pacific, yep.
And like I said, I'm going to have to find a new bet. I'm going to have to find a new deal for you. Oh, by the way, we still have that bet on that the Clippers will win more games than the Lakers?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we're pretty close right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
has Big Jeff been calling saying
Oh, yeah, he said that, he's a big fan of yours.
He's a big fan of mine.
Yeah, he loves you.
Oh, wait a second. He ain't been to Frisco lately, has he?
I don't know. I
worry about that boy. I tell you, I don't know. I think UCLA's. I think he's been going through some set. I don't know.
He's going to be very upset tomorrow if the Trojans lose to Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think it'll be 51-10.
Who, Notre Dame?
No, yeah, no, they're gonna win
against Granny. You know Lou Holtz is Granny on the Beverly Hillbillies.
No, lay off of Lou. Lay off of Lou Holtz. Okay, he got a mop on his head. Lay off of Lou.
He looks like Granny on Beverly Hillbillies. He really does.
Nah, you're not nice.
I know. All right,
but
John.
Lou Holtz is a great coach, though. Give him credit.
Not.
Oh, come on. Look what he did last year against Florida.
I know, but I just don't like the way he treats his players. I don't like the way he treats officials.
Oh, man, I don't like the way he treats things.
Oh, it's a disgrace.
Yeah.
He belongs on a couch with Ditka. He really does. And Adelmone.
Well, wait a second.
Adelmone doesn't need a shrink. He just needs to find out how to coach.
Well, maybe, Don, you have to sit on the book.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Don, like I said, it's always good to talk to you, Don. And maybe one of these days, Rick Alamone might, if he ever win a championship, maybe you might say he's a halfway decent coach.
Never, never, never. You won't live that long.
And last point, real quick, Don. Why ain't they playing Tracy Murray?
I don't know. Somebody else asked me that. Now, Tracy Murray has looked very good in the games I've seen him in, and maybe he's hurt. I didn't hear he was. Did you?
I don't know. He didn't look hurt to me.
Yeah, so, I don't know why he's not getting many minutes. I think he's a good shooter from the outside, and they need that, and he hasn't gotten much playing time.
Yeah, he is hurt. I think he's suffering a concussion from trying to figure out how bad on Rick Alamond's coaching scheme, how so uncomplicated and how so nonsense they make it. It's so hard to understand that he's suffering a concussion from it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, definitely. I'm glad you're swaying with me now.
No, well, look, I said the bet. Like I said, Rick Allen is not a great coach, but I said he's not the horrible coach. I think they had Chuck Daly. Look what Chuck Daly's doing with Nets.
Nets are playing great. They won again tonight. They upset Utah at home. Utah has already lost 4 already this season at home. Most of them they lost. Last year they lost 4 at home, and of course they took care of the Lakers the other night in an upset. So the Nets are playing good basketball.
You know what? The Utah's been upset so much they're going to have Pepto-Bismol night next time they have a home game.
Well, Derek Coleman has really sounded off against his teammates, against the coaching staff, and they're still winning.
No, I'm talking about, you have to say Utah. They've been upset so much at home, they're going to have a Pepto-Bismol night.
All right. I got to go, John.
Well, Don, like I said, it's always a pleasure. I'll call you Monday, dude.
Look forward to it. Thanks.
Take care.
That opens up a line for you at 818-352-7152. Back to the phones. Hi, on the Sports Corner with Don Tegler on the Cable Radio Network. Your name, please.
Anthony.
Anthony, how you doing?
All right, how are you, Don?
Great. Thank you for your call. Where are you calling from?
Van Nuys.
And your cable system.
United Artists.
And what up?
I want to talk some basketball some more. I think the Clippers are the stupidest team. I mean, of course they got Mark Jackson and he's one of the great. He did pretty good so far for them, but Stanley Roberts.
Yeah, but he gets in foul trouble a lot. And John said a funny line. He fouls out so easily and quickly that because he wants to get in line to get his fat burger.
Yeah. And John Williams too.
Yeah, I mean they're over the calorie cap, if you will.
Yeah, but I think that's still kind of stupid. How are they going to expect it to run the court like that?
And how embarrassing to lose to Denver, arguably one of the worst teams in the NBA. To lose at home to the Denver Nuggets? Come on. I mean, that was like the Lakers losing the other night to New Jersey.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have happened, and the Clippers should not have lost this game. We'll be joined in about 15 minutes by one of our sports reporters in the field, James Loving, who was at the game, and he'll give us his in-depth look at that game tonight about 11:30, so you don't want to miss that.
I still think that was a fluke win.
Oh, it was. I mean, the guy scored a three-pointer, a buzzer beater. It was
Just
a buzzer
lucky
beater.
throw it in.
Oh, yeah, it was a buzzer beater, no doubt about it. It was a lucky shot, but it went swish, and Denver wins.
I'm really impressed with the Orlando Magic this year.
Oh, they're playing tremendous. They win again tonight against Indiana. They're playing great. I mean, Shaq is awesome. And you got to look at some other guys in this team, too. Not just,
Nick Anderson.
Yeah, Nick Anderson. I mean, they're a tremendous team.
Hey, John, what's this about Brian Williams?
Brian Williams
committed suicide?
No, attempted to.
Attempted to,
and that's a sad story, Brian Williams. He's got a lot of problems, and right now he's in a psychiatric hospital getting treatment. But he's over the critical part of this. He's, starting to get his senses about him, but he definitely confirmed he attempted to commit suicide with an overdose of sleeping pills.
Sleeping pills.
Yeah, so let's wish Brian luck. I mean, he's a good player, and the Magic, they're playing great without him, and I really don't think the way he is right now that he'll be back before maybe next season. But who knows? Hopefully he'll get some help and get his head on straight.
Yeah, because he was a pretty good draft pick out of Arizona.
Oh, tremendous.
For them.
Tremendous. It's a sad story. It really is, and thank goodness he's still with us.
How about the Hawks? They're doing pretty good.
Atlanta's playing very good. I mean, tonight it was a battle of, up in Cleveland they lost 122 to 101. But, it was just Atlanta has, up and down season. They're not that great. But,
they look better than they did last year.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm really looking the Nets are looking great this season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
John and I were talking about that. They won tonight against Utah up there. Very tough to play up in the Salt Palace, and they beat them again. I mean, Utah's already lost 4 games up there. That's
really? Because last season they only lost 5 or something.
4. They lost 4 all of last year, and they've already equaled that. Yeah. And tonight New Jersey goes in there and beats them 112-110, and so they've lost 4 there already. So the Jazz having their problems right now.
Yeah, I think Derek Coleman's going to become their leader now.
Yeah, well, he sounded off.
And,
Derek Coleman sounded off and blasted some of his teammates, and he blasted the coaching staff, and and he got away with it because the guy puts out on the court.
Yeah, what about Kenny Anderson?
Kenny Anderson, tremendous. I mean, Bill Fitch didn't use him correctly last year, and that's why he didn't get the minutes because Bill Fitch didn't know how to coach.
Yeah, because he had really good potential out of college.
He really did, and now he's getting the playing time. And, Chuck Daly's a great coach, let's face it. And, with the talent he's got there, I wouldn't be shocked, to tell you the truth, Anthony, if the New Jersey Nets make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the way they're going and the way they're playing, I think they could make the playoffs.
Yeah, they're very good. They got a lot of talent on that team. Morris, he's got a big mouth, but he's very talented.
Yeah, and Miami Heat.
Miami Heat, tremendous. Scotty Skiles and company, they're playing tremendous basketball right now under Kevin Lockery. I really like this team a lot. And, there's a lot of good teams in the Eastern Conference. You look at Charlotte.
Charlotte, Larry Johnson, and
Lonzo Mourning.
And Kendall Gill.
I mean, they're loaded. They're absolutely a tremendous team. So, everybody's saying the Bulls to three-peat. Don't count on it.
I don't think so either because they don't look as strong as they were last year.
They really don't.
They're not as dominant.
Nope, not at all. So we shall see what happens. Well, Anthony, always a pleasure to talk to you.
Okay, Don, can I talk a little bit about Mark Schatz real quick?
Oh, yeah, give me your opinion of that.
I think she's really stupid. She goes onto the field, and she goes out to the press about all this racial stuff.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. She's totally going off her rocker, with her ridiculous statements. And, I really think that baseball hopefully next week we'll look into this matter much more in depth and give this lady a suspension.
And then that stupid little dog.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she cares more about the dog than people.
I know.
She's totally brain dead. I mean, a disgrace to the human race as far as I'm concerned about Marge Schott.
Yeah, and the only ones that I feel sorry for are the Cincinnati Reds. Cause
You'd have to play for a woman like that. She's really ballistic.
Yeah.
But she's got some good players.
She's got Barry Larkin.
She's got Barry Larkin, and, they made a decent deal. They got now Kevin Mitchell also.
Kevin Mitchell.
Yeah,
I think he could have another good season this year.
They could, despite her.
Yeah, despite her.
Yep, it's unbelievable. All that talent there, and that lady is the owner of that team. I mean, she is totally gone brain dead.
All right, Don, what do you think about the Oakland A's? I don't think they're going to be that good this season because of all them free agents they got.
They're going to lose a lot of free agents, and, this is going to be a down period for them for the next 2 or 3 years. It's going to be an interesting season next year. I always look forward to baseball. There's a lot of problems with baseball right now with the high salaries, et cetera, but I'm looking forward to baseball. I always do.
Okay, the question is, who do you sign off of the free agent list?
Well, you got to
pick up Mark McGwire, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Mark McGwire's a free agent. There's a whole bunch of them. 2 of those guys they got from Texas are free agents. Jeff Russell's a free agent, and Ruben Sierra's a free agent. So, Oakland's got a lot of guys that are going to put up the free agency, and who knows, with the money, the situation the way it is with salaries, maybe they'll keep some of those guys.
I think they should have kept Jose Canseco, though, after that trade.
Oh, I agree with you. I think that was strictly a personal thing between La Russa, Sandy Alderson, and Canseco. And some of the players didn't like Canseco because he's got a big yap, but the guy can knock the ball out of the yard.
Yeah, but I mean, they had him signed to the contract. He was set and everything, and then all of a sudden, trade gone.
I'm really surprised that he wants to stay in Texas. I mean, he inked another contract to stay with the Texas Rangers next season.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he sees something that wasn't there.
Yeah, well, maybe the Rangers, will be okay. I don't think so. They've always managed to never do anything as far as getting into playoff contention, except in '86 when the Angels won the American League West. That was the closest the Rangers ever came. But they got a lot of talent. They got Juan Gonzalez. Yeah, tremendous player. They got a lot of talent on this team who would just gel. So we shall see. Anthony, I must move on, but
okay,
give me a call next week. It's always a pleasure. You're a very intelligent young man.
Thank you. Bye, Don.
Thank you. Anthony, a good caller there in the Valley. It opens up a line for you at 818-352-7152. Back with more of your calls right after this.
What does it mean to be in the right place at the right time? Well, if you're trying to be successful, you know. And if you have a business, product, or service you're trying to make successful, the right place is the Cable Radio Network, and the right time is now. The Cable Radio Network has affordable rates and a proven track record. CRN targets your consumers in their home where they're relaxed and receptive. Whether it be advertising to the thousands of people in your area or the millions of people across the country, CRN, the Cable Radio Network, is the right place for you. Call now, 818-352-7152. That's 818-352-7152. Take your message to the people you want to reach. 818-352-7152. That's 818-352-7152. CRN, the Cable Radio Network, the right place at the right time.
Hi, this is Howard Sheldon, your Cable Radio Network astrologer. My new enhanced astrological 900 forecast line, 1-900-288-0155, is the best and most accurate astrological forecast available by phone anywhere. We don't hire someone to make up a reading for 1/12 of the people of the world. You'll receive a forecast that's customized to you personally and precisely calculated to your own birth date, time, and region of birth. You can receive a daily, weekly, or monthly forecast. For an outer planet forecast, most like the ones I do here on the Cable Radio Network, pick the monthly selection. Available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's truly remarkable. Whether you're new to astrology or a professional, I think you'll be amazed. 1-900-288-0155. That's 1-900-288-0155. It's $2 per minute, brought to you by my partners at InfoPhone, adults only, touch-tone phones only.
Hi, this is Bob Kudelski of the LA Kings, and you're listening to Sports Corner with Don Tegler on the Cable Radio Network, your radio channel for cable television.
And Don Tegler back in the Sports Corner on the Cable Radio Network. Let's get back to these jam-packed phones. Let's go to line number 1. Hi, you're on the Sports Corner with Don Tegler on the Cable Radio Network. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Don, this is Tim from Grants Pass, Oregon.
How's it going, Tim?
Pretty good.
And what's your cable system?
TCI.
All right. What's happening up there in Oregon tonight?
Okay.
The Trailblazers lost. I love that.
Of course. Well, first of all, I always say Lakers first and then the Trailblazers. So as I was watching tonight, I go, well, Lakers are my team. You know, even though I live up here in Oregon, so I had to root for the Lakers, and they look like kind of like the old Lakers from past a little bit here and there, passing the ball around.
You think the Trailblazers maybe took them a little lightly tonight?
I think the Trailblazers went ahead and ate too much turkey. They were stuffed or something. I don't know. They were down by 15 at one point. Anthony Peeler looked pretty good. He had about 15 or 17 points.
Well, Anthony Peeler's playing great basketball for the Lakers right now.
I think Portland just took them a little too light. I mean, especially up there in Portland, where most years, if they're lucky, teams will go in there and Portland maybe they might lose about 5 or 6 games up there at the most. But
you know how many minutes Tracy Murray had tonight for the
Tracy Murray had about 10 to 12. He had a couple shots, but he got 2 offensive fouls. He went ahead and forced it a little bit, but he's not hurt.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Like
a lot of people were asking me about Tracy Murray.
Well, I think I was watching. When was it? The other night. I think it was Wednesday night, and he got a couple minutes. And I think what it is Adam Moan, the brick. Maybe his toupee is not on tight enough, so he's not thinking too good.
Bravo.
I don't know. But I think what it is, he's slowly getting them in there. I mean, Murray, he hasn't had very many minutes, so tonight I think he forced it a little too much. But he's looked good in in the time that he has got in there. So I think they'll probably start getting him in there a little bit more. But I'll tell you what.
Another guy amazing me that I thought would be a total bust is Rod Strickland.
Yeah, he was okay tonight, but the whole Blazers, they looked at a sink. At least the other night when they played, they were back and forth. But I'll tell you what, LA they led 13-4 at one point. And other than that, Portland never came back at all.
Yeah, well, a big win for the Lakers tonight after a heartbreaking loss to New Jersey the other night at home. They go up and beat the Trailblazers, and this is the Trailblazers' first loss at home tonight.
Yeah, well, see, that's one thing I don't understand. I think you're going to have a lot of the Lakers, until they. I think they'll get to the playoffs. I really do. A lot of people don't think they do. But
I think they will.
I don't. I said before that I thought they might win more games than the Trailblazers, but that was when the Magic was. I think they'll probably come in about 3rd or 4th, maybe even 5th. But I think they'll get into the playoffs.
Well, I do.
I think that tonight the Trailblazers, like you said, they were just at a sink, and the Lakers, they passed the ball real well. Different people. A lot of people has written Worthy off. Okay, he's not the Worthy of pass, but he still can shoot the jumper. He still can shoot the three-pointer.
Yep.
His knees don't look as bad as people think. They're going to him. They're going to him and Perkins are the 2 main weapons. And I don't care what anybody says. Do not trade AC Green. He's in there for rebounds.
He's the heart and soul of that team.
He doesn't start, but he comes off the bench and he plays more minutes than maybe Vadi or anybody like that. And he's the guy that gets it done for him. I mean, he goes to the glass.
I totally agree. I wouldn't trade AC either. But, if they do make a deal, everybody's going to want AC Green because, like you say, he's a banger, goes to the glass. And, if they go after Derek Harper from Dallas, I know...
yeah, but he's getting kind of old, and he's not... Is he a guard or a forward?
AC Green?
No, Harper.
Derek Harper's a guard.
He's a guard, but why would you want to... I wouldn't trade up AC Green for Harper. Harper's a lot older, and he's... he's on his way out as far as,
I think they don't really need him. They got enough guards with,
right,
I know Peeler's young and so is Cooper, but, I wouldn't trade for Derek Harper.
I mean, what they need to do, they're not, I don't even think they're going to get who is it, Elijah from Houston because I guess he's pretty happy in Houston.
He's pretty happy
now.
Win, too. They're starting to win tonight. They won tonight over Miami. And they're playing some pretty good basketball right now.
Well, and another thing, you see these different teams, there's a lot of games that are a lot closer this year than they were last year. I think just about any team on any given night because, beating
a team. There's a lot of parity in the league.
For instance, the Blazers, they were 8-0, and a lot of people go, the Blazers are 8-0, they're going to go do this and do that. Well, I think what it is, they got a little too cocky, and they're going, they're going in, and they're just... Like, I'll tell you what, they look, like I said, they look totally flat. I mean, they look like, I don't know, they might look like UCLA did a couple times last year, looked flat, and they just got totally blown out.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, but I'm going to talk about the Marge shot incident for a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll tell you what, you're talking about people put them on the couch, put her on there with Adamone, Ditka,
right.
put them on there
Lou
with
Holtz.
Bobby Knight.
Lou Holtz.
Pardon?
Lou Holtz.
Yeah, that guy just. I'll tell you what. He has a two-play, doesn't he?
I'm not really sure.
Well, maybe him and Adamo can swap, and maybe that might work for both of them or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he does. And he does look like Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies too.
Yeah, I'm certain you're talking about that. I kind of think. I hope USC wins tomorrow.
I do too. I'm rooting for USC. I mean, they've lost 9 straight to Notre Dame. I'm tired of losing to Notre Dame.
Well, I wish they could bring back the glory years when Anthony Davis. Remember when he had like 3 or 4 touchdowns back in the early 70s?
Yeah, Anthony Davis was a tremendous player
awesome
for the Trojans.
Game, But those two used to get together and stuff. So I just hope they win. And anyway, get back to Marsha. I mean, how can she make different statements like that and not get in trouble at all?
She's a total idiot. I think she'll get into trouble. I mean, this was a holiday week. I think next week you'll see Bud Selig, the pro tem right now of the baseball committee and commissioner's office. The amazing thing is he's Jewish, and Bill White, the National League commissioner, is black.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bill White, hey, before you go out, why don't you do something nice and something nice and go ahead and get rid of her. Go ahead and do something to her. I mean, people shouldn't talk about other people. Everybody's equal as far as I'm concerned.
Me too. She's a disgrace to society.
This is the 90s, and come on, people. Everybody, get along and stuff. Don't sit there and
she's a jerk.
If Al Campanis, he can get fired or get knocked out of baseball. Why not?
Exactly. Now, what Al Campanis said was absolutely ignorant, and Ted Koppel, did a tremendous interview with him and suckered him in. But his statements were mild in comparison to Marge Schott's statements.
Yeah, and I just don't see, baseball has enough problems with somebody coming out and, saying stuff like that. I mean, the attendance is down, from the years past, and, I don't know what else is going to happen where you're going to make baseball even worse. I mean, you're going to have to do something else to make, they're going to have to do something else to make it come back to life.
It's one thing after another with baseball, all kinds of problems off the field with police blotter stuff, all the Marge Schott situation. I mean, the Steve Howe situation. I mean, you can go on and on.
I mean, what are you going to do? Let this guy just slap on the hand after 7 times and go, okay, he gets in there, he's on the stuff, and he goes and hits somebody and kills them?
Exactly.
I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to have a big lawsuit against him and everything else?
But it'll be shameless if some baseball team signs this jerk. It'll be, it'll be a disgrace.
Doesn't New York still have his contract?
Yes, they do.
Or what are they going to do? Ship him off? Or,
I don't know what they're going to do yet. It hasn't been announced, but I know George Nicolau ruled that, of course, he can come back to baseball, and I think that was a ridiculous decision.
Oh, I just don't understand it. A couple more things before I go real quick.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see Dallas and the 49ers in the NFC final.
Oh, yeah.
And, I know you're a Dallas fan, but I kind of think if you do see those two, you're going to probably see the team that is going to have the most offense that week, because San Francisco, their defense isn't as good as Dallas, but Dallas, one thing that bugs me about them is sometimes they're not in sync for offense. I mean, you look at certain games, you look at the Phoenix game last week. I mean, sure, they played a really banged up and a really crummy Giants team that didn't have the first-string quarterback. And then also, who else did they play? They're 2 weeks prior to yesterday's game, they looked really flat. I mean, and they barely got away with wins.
Yeah, well.
So I think you're going to see Dallas and the 49ers, and if the 49ers come out and they really explode, you're going to see the 49ers.
That would be, to me, a mini Super Bowl between those two teams.
Well, it's too bad they got to both play in the same, in the National League Conference. So otherwise, you'd have a Super Bowl right there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's going to be a tremendous game. Obviously, they're going to face off against each other. And, I look for Dallas to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
And one more thing real quick before I go. They had I don't know if you've seen ESPN yesterday, any highlights or anything like that. They had a thing about Turkey Day. And you know who they had on there? It's called Fat Man's, it was Fat Man's Day or something like that. And the two people they had on there?
Probably Stanley Roberts.
Pardon?
Stanley Roberts.
And who else?
Hot Fat Williams.
Yeah, $280 for for Roberts, and Hot Plate, I think it was $275.
Yeah, the two Fat Burger Kings.
And those two, what are those two going to do? What are they? You jog them up and down the court, and then what? They lose maybe a pound, and is that what Larry Brown?
And then they go out after the game and eat up about 8 Fat Burgers.
Well, you know what they were saying? Andrew Joyce was asking, well, what do you eat? Oh, let's see, I eat pizza and hamburgers, all the stuff. They don't understand that, hey, one Big Mac is almost about 800 calories. They probably eat about 7 or 8 of those.
Yeah, and Larry Brown has been saying that they got him on a nutritional situation, and they're not doing it. They're not going by it.
And then the other night, when I was watching the Blazer game, I seen that other fatso, Oliver Miller. Geez, I'm saying to my wife, Rhonda, I said, can you see that guy? You know how much he weighs? He weighs about 290. He fell over his own ankle, and he hurt himself. That's how fat he was.
He's a joke.
When you're not in shape and you can't move around like that, I mean, sure, he made the bucket, but when you can't move around like that and you're that fat and you fall down, you're going to have injuries just like that anyhow because you're not in shape to go ahead and to fall down or whatever, to run up and down the court.
Absolutely.
So,
all right, man. I appreciate it, Tim.
Okay, see you tomorrow, Don, and as always, it's good night now.
Thank you. And that opens up a line for you at 818-352-7152. We're going to take one more call, and then we're going to be joined by James Loving, who was at the sports arena tonight, taking on that Clipper loss tonight. So he'll tell us about that three-pointer at the end of the game. And I'm sure JM loved that game. JM, how you doing? Hello, JM, are you there? Let me see what happened to JM. JM, are you there? I guess he hung up. All right. Let's take a break and be back with all your calls right after this timeout.
Hi, this is Howard Sheldon, your cable radio network astrologer. My new enhanced astrological 900 forecast line, 1-900-288-0155, is the best and most accurate astrological forecast available by phone anywhere. We don't hire someone to make up a reading for 1/12 of the people of the world. You'll receive a forecast that's customized to you personally and precisely calculated to your own birth date, time, and region of birth. You can receive a daily, weekly, or monthly forecast. For an outer planet forecast, most like the ones I do here on the cable radio network, pick the monthly selection. Available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's truly remarkable. Whether you're new to astrology or a professional, I think you'll be amazed. 1-900-288-0155. That's 1-900-288-0155. It's $2 per minute, brought to you by my partners at InfoPhone, adults only, touch-tone phones only.
What does it mean to be in the right place at the right time? Well, if you're trying to be successful, you know. And if you have a business, product, or service you're trying to make successful, the right place is the Cable Radio Network, and the right time is now. The Cable Radio Network has affordable rates and a proven track record. CRN targets your consumers in their home where they're relaxed and receptive. Whether it be advertising to the thousands of people in your area or the millions of people across the country, CRN, the Cable Radio Network, is the right place for you. Call now, 818-352-7152. That's 818-352-7152. Take your message to the people you want to reach. 818-352-7152. That's 818-352-7152. CRN, the Cable Radio Network, the right place at the right time.
Hi, this is Rick Sadowski of the Los Angeles Daily News, and you're listening to Sports Corner with Don Tegler on the Cable Radio Network, your radio channel for cable television.
And Don Tegler back for our final segment of the Sports Corner before we turn it over to Jim Rubin, the great music all night long. And right now we're going to be joined by the Sports Corner reporter in the field, James Loving. James, how you doing tonight?
Very good, Don. How are you?
Very well, and thank you for calling in tonight. Of course, you were at the sports arena as Denver shot that, what does the guy close his eyes and make that big bucket, and Denver wins 109-106?
No, well, Chris Jackson hit a 48-foot shot at the buzzer to lead the Nuggets to a 109-106 win over the Clippers, as you know. And Jackson and Marcus Liberty led the Nuggets with 19 points. Ron Harper led the Clippers with 20 points, and Mark Jackson had 17. The Clippers led throughout the game until it was all said and done at the buzzer, and that was it, 109-106.
A tough loss for the Clippers.
Yes, it was. Here's Chris Jackson. He said that he really got a good look at the basket, so here's a few words from Chris.
Well, before it happened, I was just thinking of making something happen. When I got it, I was in the right place at the right time, and when I was coming down, I just saw the teammate say, time, and I looked up, and it was like 1-something, so I said, well, I think I'm going to try to let it fly, and luckily I made it.
Was the play designed to get to you?
No, not at all. We were just trying to stop them from making the shot, and if anything, hopefully, if we couldn't make it, take it in overtime, and we made it. So,
did you just throw it up there, or did you kind of get a line on the basket to where it was actually a shot?
I got to look at it. I got a good look at it, and I threw it up the best I could. I didn't throw it. you know, I tossed it and flicked the wrist. But I mean, of course, it was luck. We're not gonna question that, but it was a good look at the glass.
It seemed like there was a breakdown as far as the defense is concerned, and they weren't defending you as strong as they might have.
Towards the end, on that last shot, well, I'm sure they thought he's not gonna make this, like a lot of other people. But things happen, and I made it. So that's all. It's hard to explain.
It was a 48-footer. When's the last time you recall making a shot like that to win the game?
Well, I haven't made a shot like that ever. The only shot I can recall winning the game second is LSU, but that was in the corner. But that was nothing was like that.
Great shooting, Chris. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Good interview there, James.
Yeah, Don, I'll tell you, I looked at that play afterwards. Mutombo blocked the shot.
Right.
Jackson got it, turned around, and Mark Jackson seemed to be looking up at the clock as he was backpedaling, and Jackson just took that ball, ran up the court, had his eyes on the basket, and let it go. He had a real good look at it, and I think he knew what he wanted to do with the ball before he let it go, or he got it in his hands.
A buzzer beater, if you will.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I hear you talking about the Fatburger guys. Roberts
yeah, go ahead.
Well, Roberts was playing a very good game. He played 24 minutes, was 7 for 12, wound up with 14 points. He had 6 rebounds, and Williams played only 22 minutes and had 6 points. But for some reason, in spite of the fact that he can't jump and he can hardly run, when he gets in a game, the team seems to flow around him because he knows what to do with the ball. He had 7 assists, and Larry Brown is really excited about him, and I can imagine if he gets in any kind of shape what he can do when he can jump and he can run.
Yeah, we keep hearing that these guys, Roberts and Williams, are on diets with a nutritionist. Is that true? Are these guys trying to lose weight, or are they eating fat burgers when they go back to the bench and get a towel?
I don't know. I don't know what the story is, but I'll tell you this. Both of these guys are super people. They have very pleasant attitudes, and I'm sure the way that Larry Brown can get to someone's mind and get them to cooperate, he's very good at that. That by the end of the year, they're going to be in real fine shape.
And we're being joined by James Loving, our Sports Corner reporter in the field from the sports arena after the Clippers lose a buzzer beater to Denver tonight, 109-106. Any trade rumors going on? I mean, we keep hearing Loy Vought's name mentioned in trades. What's going on there, James?
Well, I didn't get a chance to talk to Loy. Loy was out earlier shooting some shots, and he was kind of submerged in the crowd there. When I get together with him again, I'm going to sit down and talk to him and find out what's going on and perhaps get a chat with Larry Brown about it.
All right, and how do you think this game, is going to affect the morale of the team? A tough one to lose with a buzzer beater. What's in store for the Clippers next?
Well, I think it can only be a benefit to the team, and I say that because in the last quarter, they only scored 17 points to the Nuggets 30, so they seemed to kind of take it for granted. They were way ahead. And they kind of got very lax about their play. Tomorrow they're going to go up against the Nuggets again up in Denver. So I think it's going to be a good lesson for them. They just got to play hard all the time. I was talking to Kiki Vanderway's father after the game, and he said, I told him that. He says, you got to knock them when they're down and keep them down, and that's exactly what happened. They let up, and the Nuggets won the game.
Yeah. All right, James, good job as usual, and we look forward to having you on the show with us next week.
Real good, Don.
Thanks again.
Take care.
And that was James Loving calling in from the Sports Arena here on the Cable Radio Network. An update on that Clipper loss tonight to Denver, 109-106. And let's get back to the phones. J.M. from Tarzana, how you doing?
I was doing a little bit better until you brought up the Clippers.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know you're a big Clipper fan, and tough loss for them.
Yeah, I think they're going to win tomorrow, Don. I think they're going to show a lot of heart and go up to Denver and kick the Nuggets' butt.
Well, the Nuggets not one of the best teams in the NBA.
That's
a lucky win for them tonight.
But it's hard to play up in that altitude, too.
Yeah, that's true, especially after back-to-back games. Now the Clippers got to fly back to Denver, and Denver, in the altitude, you're right. I mean, Denver could
Aren't they undefeated at home this year?
I believe they are, yeah.
Okay, well, that's going to be a tough game, but I think the Clippers are going to hand them a loss. A couple of things here, Don. The Lakers are going to be lucky if they make the playoffs, and I mean unless they take 6 teams from the Pacific Division, because that's what the Lakers are going to finish. Is they're going to finish 6th.
I don't think so.
Well, we'll see. They're definitely not going to finish ahead of the Clippers, like I told you, or the.
Well, we'll see. Right now, I think it's about even right now.
And
it's still early though.
A couple things here.
last week, USC's defense made John Barnes, look like John Elway.
Yeah, right.
I mean, before that, he was just like Priscilla Barnes.
Right.
I mean, but I think they're going to stuff. I think they're going to stuff Rick Meyer tomorrow, and they're going to make him look like Oscar Meyer.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm with you.
I cannot stand Notre Dame. Being a Trojan, there's no way that you can stand Notre Dame.
Right.
And Barry Bonds, what an egotistical jerk.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that?
I still think he's going to wind up with Atlanta. He doesn't want to play for the Dodgers or the Angels.
We got a story off the wire tonight. I don't know if you heard it.
Yeah.
That broke before it went on the air. That there's a rumor going around that the Phillies are trying to swing a three-way deal involving, here's the deal. It would be a Atlanta.
Yeah, I hear where Mitch Williams is going to go to Atlanta.
Yeah, right.
Bad
Barry
trade for
Bonds.
one reason. Mitch Williams is washed up.
I think so. I don't want him on the Braves.
And why would you give away Ronnie Gann, who's a 30-30 man?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that for Mitch Williams. That's crazy.
I mean, if you're gonna get Barry Bonds, hypothetically, if the Braves were going to get Barry Bonds, they could have an outfield of Barry Bonds, Otis Nixon, Dave Justice, and Ronnie Gann coming off the bench. And if you're worried about Otis Nixon by name, you could just play him as reserve outfielder. They'll probably get rid of Lon